Welcome to Long Beach City College football here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. The Long Beach City College Vikings hosting the Grossmont Griffins. I am Randy Jones, and I'm back doing the play-by-play. I'm joined today by Noah Russell. How you doing today, Noah?
I'm great, Randy, and I am pumped up tonight. I'm really excited to kick off our football season, and let's get to it.
Yes, sir. You see the team captains out on the field right now shaking hands, getting ready for the ceremonial coin toss. Whichever team wins, they will have the choice of either receiving the first half kick or deferring to the second half.
Yes,
the
sir.
losing squad out there will get to decide which way they want to play, which at this time of day, it doesn't really matter. The sun is directly above us. We should be playing for the whole first half will be without the lights. At some point in the third quarter, we should have the lights come on.
Yes, indeed.
But you can see everyone out there. Well, you know, I wanted to say the Vikings last year, they finished off the season 8-3. They capped it off with a nice Patriot Bowl victory, 37-10 over Bakersfield. Did you see that game?
I called that game.
You called that game?
Yes, indeed. It was a terrific game. It was a great battle, and it really showed the resilience of the athletes.
Yes. You know, I had all of the stats, but that was last year when we finished 8-3 overall.
Yeah.
But I want to focus a little bit on head coach Brett Peabody. When I first came here to Long Beach City College back in 2013, that was Brett's first year as head coach.
Yes, it was.
We'd come off of a 0-10. We'd not won a game, and we'd been blown out in most of our games. We ended up finishing 4-6 overall and 2-4 in the league. As you see Brett pacing the sideline, which he'll do. And Brett also, Coach Peabody, he will be working the referees nonstop out there, trying to get that next call working for us all. The referees, I'm going to let Noah read it off for you.
All right, so our referee is Dave Garza. Our umpire is Andres Gutierrez. Our head linesman is Doug Soul. Side judge is Peter Enns. Our line judge is Gary Kraus. Field judge is Ryan Castillo. And back judge is John Thur.
And that is the story according to Noah Russell, my good sidekick here. As I was now the national anthem.
And we now rise for our national anthem. All right.
You saw there that the flag, our Old Glory, was at half-mast. That's in honor of Senator John McCain, who passed away earlier this week, just a couple days shy of his 82nd birthday.
Yeah.
So the referees are out at center field and the midfield, and they are now breaking up and going their respective ways. You see on the far side is your Long Beach City College Vikings. They're dressed in white with white shoes, the white helmet with a Viking stripe on it with a red jersey. The Griffins, the visitors, on the near sideline, they are in white highlighted with green numbers. Now, just a little bit about the Griffins. The Griffins, they green, gold, and black. They were founded in 1961. The president is Sunita Cook. Athletic director is Tom Armstrong. The head coach is Mr. Mike Jordan, and they got about 19,000 students at their school. And as you see, the Vikings are going to be taking the opening kick here. Vikings going left to right. The Griffins kicking off from the 35-yard line. Noah, we're underway.
And we have liftoff, or maybe not.
And before anything happens, we've already got our first penalty.
How about that?
Nope. You know what? I think that the player started to go before the back judge. You see, I can't see him on the camera. He's just a little bit shy of. Well, back judge wasn't ready.
Yeah.
He had his hand in the air, so the back judge is on the near side. But now the kicker is approaching it. He boots it.
And we now have liftoff.
And we have liftoff. This one's going to go out of the end zone. A very good kickoff there. And the Vikings are going to take over at their own 25-yard line. And I believe, if you can believe this, he's here. The head coach, Brett Peabody's son, Drake Peabody, should be the starter for your Long Beach City College Vikings. And it is.
Yep, Drake Peabody, quarterback, 6'2", 190, and a freshman from West Torrance High School.
West Torrance High School. And the running back in the backfield, is that number 8, Milshawn Lathan?
I believe that'd be him.
All right, we got 1 receiver to the left, 3 to the right with Layton off of Peabody's back right foot. The handoff goes to Layton. He goes off left tackle. He gets through the wedge and gets out past the 30-yard line. Almost out to the 31. A nice 6-yard gain on first down, Noah.
Absolutely.
It's going to bring up a quick 2nd and 4. You'll see that there's no huddles anymore. Peabody already has the play. He's back to pass, looks to his right, now looks to his left, and he's going to get sacked. He's going to go all the way back to the 24-yard line. It's going to be about a 7-yard loss on the play. It's going to bring up a, they're going to get forward progress to the 26. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 9. It's the same formation as the first play. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And you have Lathan, back of Peabody on his right-hand side. Peabody looking over to the coaching staff to see what the play is. He barks it out. Back to pass. There's a flag on the play. Over the middle is complete. He has a first down out to the 40-yard line. We'll have to see what the call is going to be on this. It was complete to Victor Bates.
Victor Bates, wide receiver, 6'0", 177, and a freshman from Winnet Park High School.
It was a good 14-yard gain, and if the penalty flag is on the Griffins, the Vikings will decline it, and it's going to be a first down, the first down of this 2018 campaign.
First down and 10.
Griffins having a couple of people coming off the field real quick. Vikings hurrying up and now in an I formation. Lathan directly behind Peabody. Peabody looks like he's going to hike the ball. What they do is they see what the defense is offering. They look over to the coaching staff for final instructions. Handoff goes to Lathan. He bangs into his own center. He's going to fall forward for about a yard gain. Actually, that wasn't Lathan. That was number 3, Tayshawn White on the carry there. Tayshawn White.
Tayshawn White, that's right.
Going to bring up, they're going to give him about 2 yards on it. It looks like that was a fortuitous mark there. I thought he only had about a yard.
Yeah.
So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 8. 1 receiver to the left. There's 2 to the right now coming into the inside formation, making it 1 on each side. Back to pass Peabody, going down the left sideline, and it is complete. A beautiful pass there by Peabody, throwing it about 30 yards in the air. And who was that to? That was none other than Victor Bates. Victor Bates getting in the action here.
Wow, Victor Bates and Peabody, those guys are like Batman and Robin.
That's right. That was a good matchup hookup there.
Yeah.
It takes it all the way inside the 20-yard line in the red zone. Ball on the 13, 1st and 10. Handoff goes up the middle, breaking a tackle, breaking a 2nd tackle, and going all the way to the 5-yard line. He carried a couple of Griffins with him on the play.
Yeah.
And that was Tayshawn White on that play, and he's going to get a good 8 yards on first down. That's a great carry. It's inside the 10 at the 5. Peabody rolling to his left. He's going to keep it. He's down inside the 5 to the 3 to the 1.
Wow, so
knocked
close.
out of bounds. Was there a flag thrown at the very end?
Yeah, there was a white flag down there.
Okay, I think that might just be where it's saying he went out of bounds, so that's not a penalty flag. But it's going to be it's going to be a first down on the run by Peabody, and it gives a 1st and 10. First and goal from the 1 for the Vikings. 4 minutes into the game, Vikings striking quick. Peabody barking out signals. Peabody fakes a handoff. The Griffins did not budge on the play. Number 45, Anthony Sola, was all over that, and he came in and threw Peabody for a 4-yard loss. It's going to take it back to the 5-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 5.
You could totally tell that the Griffins had his number. They knew what he was doing.
Yeah, you know, he was hoping that everyone would go for the fake and he would be able to have a bootleg into the left-hand corner of the end zone, but the Griffins didn't bite. 2nd and goal. Looking like there might have been a man offside over the nose guard. The pass is into the end zone, and it's a touchdown, Vikings. And if this is against the Griffins, it will be declined, and I believe it is against the Griffins. I believe that was Dominic Wingfield that had made the reception.
So we got to check it out if it's an official touchdown or not.
And it is.
All right, outstanding.
So it was against the defense. So it was a nose guard right above the center. He jumped offside. That was number 15 that actually did that. That was Todd Broomfield that jumped off sides. And but the Vikings say, nope, we'll take the touchdown. It's now 6-0 on for the extra point. Can you see who that is?
Let's see, what's his number?
And it looks like there's more movement at the line of scrimmage, so we'll give us an extra opportunity to see who the
77.
77.
Or, yes, 77. Stephen Almada.
Oh, it looks like he's an offensive lineman out there. At least they have him listed as an offensive lineman. So the penalty was against the Griffins again. It's declined, so we'll redo the extra point attempt. The Vikings marching downfield, 75 yards for a touchdown. The snap, the place to kick is through the uprights, and it is good. So the score, 11:14 to go. The scoring drive took 3 minutes and 46 seconds, Noah. The Vikings look like they have no problems on the first drive.
Oh, yeah. So now we have a slow-mo on the touchdown. Let's see how it worked.
Take a look at this. He's looking into the right-hand side. He had 2 receivers, so one of the guys actually ran the wrong route because you never want to have 2 receivers in the same spot. But it was fortuitous for the Vikings, and it's 7-0 right off the bat.
And here we are live.
I don't know if you could hear in the background, but did you hear the horn going off? Coach Brett Peabody was talking to me last night, and he was telling me, Randy, we've got a horn that goes on after touchdowns, and when the defense is out on the field and it's a 3rd down, the horn goes off, trying to implore the crowd to make some noise.
Absolutely. That was a terrific touchdown, by the way.
That was. I mean, don't want to knock a touchdown pass, but there was 2 receivers in the same spot against a better defensive team. That could cause problems. The kick is going to be taken at about the 12-yard line, going to the 15 to the 20, stutter stepping, goes backwards, and he's hit hard by a Viking. Almost looked like the ball might have come loose, but I don't think it did.
You never know.
Looked like Edgar Hayes was in on that tackle.
Maybe.
I couldn't quite tell. But regardless, the Griffins now are going to have their first possession, and it looks like they are going to be led by number 8, Josh Harris. Tell us about Josh Harris.
Well, Josh Harris from Grossmont?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's see. He is number
8.
Number 8, Josh Harris. He is a quarterback, a sophomore, 6'6", 230 from Oceanside, California.
Oh, a wonderful move there as Jarius Burnett just hurdled a Viking defender, made it look great. He only got 4 yards out of it, but what an athletic play that was as the handoff went to the left-hand side.
My
Brings
goodness.
up to 2nd and 6. The handoff in the backfield and immediately hit by a Viking, and that is number 52, Adrian Hernandez.
Mm-hmm.
Adrian Hernandez was 4 yards deep in the backfield on that one. threw him for a loss. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 2. They need to get to the 25. It looks like the scoreboard might be wrong on that. It's a 3rd and 3. Rolling to his right. He looks like he wants to run it. He's going to try to run it. He's going to get Bowen down in the backfield, and the Vikings hold. Number 35 for the Vikings, and that is Jalen McNeil.
I believe that's a 25 there, Randy.
Oh, 25, okay.
Yes. Number 25, that'd be Keshawn White.
Sean White, he's a freshman from Inglewood. It's going to knock him all the way back on that sack there on the rollout to the 21-yard line. Brings up a 4th down and 9, and they're forced to punt. Standing back at his own 35-yard line with nobody around. It's, a high snap.
Oh.
And the kick is not a great one. It's going to bounce at the 46-yard line, goes backwards. It's going to be downed at the Viking 48-yard line. So that's 29 and 2. That's a 31-yard punt, no return, timeout on the field. 9:17 to go, Noah. 7-0 Vikings.
Absolutely. So far I'm seeing a good game right here. Well, we're here on camera.
I'm Randy Jones. This here is Noah Russell.
First time on camera, too.
First time on camera. Hey, we're back to live action, though. The Vikings immediately up at the ball, 48-yard line, their own 48. Peabody calling out signals. He's going to be looking to pass. Men open over the middle. It's caught at the 35-yard line. Diving forward all the way to the 31-yard line is, oops, wrong side, is Victor Bates.
Yep.
Nice pass there. You know, Peabody, he actually had 3 different receivers that were wide open on that play.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Everyone was wide open on that. He had his pick of the litter, and it looks like there was a face mask after the play. So it's going to be an additional 15-yard penalty.
Oh, boy.
So instead of it being 1st and 10 at the 31, it takes it all the way to the 16-yard line.
Wow.
And so it amounts to a good 34, 36 yards in the net positive on that play. Peabody from the 16, the second possession, second time in the red zone for the Vikings. Peabody looking over to the sideline. You know, it's really odd to be saying Peabody on the field.
I know, right?
The handoff goes wide to the left. Boy, he has some nice speed there. Gets inside the 15 all the way down to the 10-yard line. And that was
number 28. Number 28, that would be Raphael Jones.
Raphael Jones. Raphael is a freshman from Modern Day. Modern Day has a juggernaut high school program.
Wow.
They're going to give him 5 yards on the play. Down to the 11. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 5. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. You'll see that formation a lot. Peabody got his hand hit as he threw the ball, and he overthrew into the coffin corner. The intended receiver on the play looks like Jonathan Bonds.
Jonathan Bonds, I believe.
That number 2, yeah, Jonathan Bonds was the intended receiver, but it was just overthrown a little bit.
Jonathan Bonds is a wide receiver, 6'2", 180, a freshman from St. John Bosco High School in Bellflower, California.
Another great football program at St.
Absolutely.
John Bosco. They've had a lot of quarterbacks at St. John Bosco go to major colleges and also to the NFL.
Oh, no kidding.
3rd and 5. Peabody looks to his left, now to his right, throwing complete. And nope, they're going to call it incomplete. The intended receiver was Victor Bates. He must have trapped the ball on that play. And the Vikings are going to be forced to have a field goal attempt here. They're going to, looks like the field goal, they're going to be a 28-yard field goal attempt. The spot it at the 18. Line of scrimmage is the 11. The hike, the snap, the place, line drive kick, and it is good. And did you see who the man that kicked that? I can't see what his number is running off the field.
Well, anyway, it's now 10-0 Vikings with 8 minutes to go in the first quarter.
I see him running over on the sideline. I want to say, what is this guy right there?
That is 37.
37.
That's Augustin Delgadillo.
Delgadillo, Augustin Delgadillo with the extra point, or with the field goal on that, making it 10-0. And I'm looking here at some of my old paperwork to see if, you know, he's a sophomore. Was he with us last year?
I believe so. He's he's a kicker, 5'9", 170.
Yes.
Yep, he's from Carson.
Yes, last year he was 4 of 7 from field goals. His long was 44. So he's 1 for 1 this year for Delgadillo. 2 possessions, 10 points in the red zone for the Vikings. The kickoff, it's going to be, it looks like it bounces and it's going to go out of bounds at about the 6-yard line.
And we got a yellow flag in the play.
So that's going to be a penalty. They're going to take it at the 35-yard line. And that is where the Griffins will start this possession at. So that's what happens when you kick the ball out of bounds on a kickoff. The penalty you get on it is ball comes out to the 35-yard line. Nice start for the Vikings, Noah.
Oh, definitely. With a 10-0 start, that's fantastic.
2 possessions, and, you know, you hate to see when you get into the red zone that you can't get a touchdown, but the main thing is you continue to get points.
Of course.
So the Vikings forced a 3-and-out on their on the Griffins' first offensive possession. Let's see what the Vikings can do on defense here on the Griffins' second possession.
We shall see.
Harris passing to his left, complete to Jacob Rosar. Rosar out to the 39-yard line where he's met by a group of Viking players. We had Noah Bias and Adrian Hernandez both in on the tackle. Hernandez was 52, and 44 was
Noah Bias.
Where were they from?
Noah Bias is from Gardena, California, and Hernandez is from Palo Verdes.
Palo Verdes, nice area.
Yeah.
Harris, about 3 yards behind his center, now gets under center, takes the snap, throwing downfield. It's intercepted. It's intercepted by the Vikings. That is Jeremiah Houston. He took it down about the 32-yard line. He ran towards the center of the field, got it out to the 38. The Vikings have done it again. Jeremiah Houston, he's number 13. Jeremiah, he's a quarterback, 6'1". He's a sophomore from La Habra High School.
From La Habra?
From La Habra, and he got it actually out. It looks like they're going to mark it. They haven't placed it yet, but I see it looks like they're about the 38. Looks like the officials are talking to each other. And you had the referee there, Dave Garza, saying no flag on the play.
Yeah, that was a faux pas right
Either
there.
that or he was waving to you, Noah.
Maybe.
Was he waving to us?
Maybe, I don't know.
All right. So far, it looks like Vikings, we know that the Vikings are going to score points. Last year, the Vikings put up 40 points a game, and they allowed 28 points a game. To be that national title contender, which is where Peabody wants to take this team, that's Brett Peabody, they need to take the defense to the next level. And so far today, they've done it. The handoff going up the middle, breaking 3 tackles. Finally being brought down is number 28, and that's Raphael Jones. We've called his name already, Noah.
Yeah, he's from Modern Day High School,
Yes,
Santa Ana, California.
A nice 5-yard gain on first down. Handoff, and this time he's not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. He's tripped up in the backfield. Number 91, Mays Messo, was in on the tackle. Also helped out by his teammate, Bryson Collins, were the 2 people who were in on that tackle. Ball is right at the 45. The Vikings need to get to the 48. It's 3rd and 3. Peabody looking over to the sideline. Right now, the Vikings now have the 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Running back right next to Peabody's left-hand side. Pass is complete and dropped. Oh, I think he was looking downfield, and he had a lot of daylight there, but he dropped it right out of his hands.
A little bit of Butterfingers action there.
Fortunate, and that's the first time the Griffins have held. I don't know, do you call that a hold, or would you say the Vikings sort of missed that one on their own?
I think that was a mishap right there.
Yeah. Mishap is a better word than miffed.
Yeah.
So in the punt for the Vikings. Do you see what his number is, Noah?
It's a little sketchy from the side. Let's see.
Well, he's standing at his own 32. The line of scrimmage is the 45. And there is movement on the line of scrimmage.
Number 29. That's number 29. And that would be Tanner Carcamo.
Who?
Tanner Carcamo from Long Beach City. Number 29.
He's from San Pedro.
Yes, indeed. 6'2", 200, sophomore.
So the penalty goes back 5 yards. It's now at the 40-yard line. Remains 4th down, so he's still going to be punting the ball.
4th down and 8.
Tanner Carcamo gets off a low liner, bounces at the 28-yard line, and takes a Grossmont bounce. And jumped on by a Viking player.
And Jeremiah
Little
Houston picks it up.
extracurricular activity, and I'm surprised there. Number 38 there coming off the field for Grossmont. Threw a push afterwards right in front of the head linesman. But the head linesman, which was Doug Soul, decided not to throw a flag on that. He very easily could have.
And Jeremiah Houston was the one that picked up the ball as it bounced on the ground. He's a cornerback. He's 6'1", 202, and a sophomore from La Habra.
They're going to start this possession at the 32-yard line. The handoff goes to the right. Gets good penetration there. Going to take it out to about the 38-yard line.
Yep.
In on the tackle, it looks like for the Vikings. I believe that is Noah Bias.
Yes, number 44.
Yes, okay. So they're going to give him 5 yards on the play. I'm not going to say they didn't give him 5. He earned the 5 on that play.
Exactly. Just like you don't get a grade, you earn it.
There you go. Unless you're really lucky and get the right teacher or the right class, then you can just,
Right.
Or if you're rich.
There it is.
All right, 2nd down. They're going to call it a 6-yard gain, so 2nd and 4. At least that's what the scoreboard shows.
And a
5.
flag. 2 flags. 2 yellow flags in the play.
And it looks like this is going to be a legal procedure against Grossmont. So when you get 6 yards on 1st down, you're happy, but Grossmont's sort of hurting themselves here with that penalty. So what they gained was almost completely erased. It's going to be a 2nd down and 9. The clock is approaching 5 minutes, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner there. Exactly 5 minutes remaining in the 1st quarter. Long Beach City College 10, the Grossmont Griffins nothing. Back to pass, throwing to his running back. Oh, and he had a lot of daylight, but going off of his fingers, the ball was thrown a little bit too high for Jarius Burnett. I think if Harris would have thrown a better pass, they could have got a 1st down on that.
Oh, definitely.
There wasn't much coverage for the Vikings in that area. But it's going to bring up a big 3rd and 9 to see if the Vikings can get a stop here. They would get the ball back in excellent field position. Vikings show a 4-man rush. Back to pass and a blitz. Oh, he gets away from the blitz, goes up the middle, but a ton of Vikings are all over the play. And the one that made the tackle, I believe,
number 52. And that would be Adrian Hernandez.
And it's going to be about 4 yards short of a 1st down. It's going to force the Griffins to punt. So the Vikings are going to get the ball back in good field position. Another low snap. That's the 2nd bad snap in a row, but a high spiraling kick. Fair catch called for by Victor Bates. And Victor gets a fair catch at about the 18-yard line, and that's where the Vikings are going to take over with 4:02 to go. Vikings defense looks good today, Noah.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. I'll tell you one thing about Peabody is that he is an amazing coach. I mean, especially with only one losing streak, this guy definitely knows what he's doing. And whenever I talk to him, he always says his main goal is to bring a championship here to Long Beach.
Yes, it is. He's 40-15 since he came here to the Vikings. 19-9 in a tough National Central Division. We'll get to the change in divisions. There was a big mix-up in all of the divisions, so a lot of teams have been moved around. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. No one in the backfield with Peabody. He's all by himself. Rolling over the middle, throwing it, and calling for a wanted pass interference to be called was the intended receiver, number 17 for the Vikings. And that was Patrick Lee, but the official didn't agree with him. Did you think it was pass interference?
Perhaps. I mean, usually when there's a pass coming to the player and the player gets kicked out of the way, that's definitely interference.
Yeah, they got there real close to the same time. Good defensive play when it's not called, and when it's called, it's a bad defensive play. Peabody throwing out into the flat, but on top of him immediately. Making the tackle is number 29 for Grossmont, and that is Brennan Goring.
Yep. He's a sophomore. He is 5'11", 193 from La Jolla Country Day High School in San Diego, California.
It's going to be a loss on the play. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 12. Vikings losing yardage here right now.
Yeah.
Back at their own 15. Peabody looking down over the middle. Complete. 1st down. Victor Bates on the play. Previous line of scrimmage was the 16-yard line. They get it all the way out to the 32-yard line. It's a big 16-yard gain on 3rd down to Victor Bates. 1st and 10 Vikings hurrying quickly. Handoff going to the left. The flag is thrown, and I think that's going to be a face mask on the play. We'll have to see what the official calls there.
Yeah, the NFL itself has actually added a lot of face mask rules, and I think that also applies to college football as well.
Let's see what Dave Garza calls. Nope, he's going to call it a hold on the Vikings. Did you hear what number he called it on?
I couldn't hear it too well. It's a little muffled.
Yeah, it's hard with the headphones on to hear what number it was, but it was a hold on the Vikings. It negates a good 8-yard gain. I believe to Sean White. So it's going to bring up a 1st and 20 for the Vikings. No problem, say the Vikings. We can get 20 yards. We've done it before. We'll do it. Well,
exactly.
The song goes. The clock is still moving. 2:50, 2:49 to go. 1st quarter, 10-0 Vikings. Pass over the middle. They get all of the yards back that they'd lost, and then a little bit more. Pass is completed to, who was it complete to?
Number 17, Patrick Lee, a wide receiver, 6'1", 190, sophomore from Dominguez High School in Compton, California.
And Lee immediately comes to the right side of the formation. He's actually a flanker. You see him with his back turned to us right there. Right off the, standing about 5 feet off the line of scrimmage, off of the right tackle. Peabody with the ball, rolling to his left. He's in trouble, and he's going to go down. Peabody's going to get sacked for about a 7-yard loss on the play. Boy, you gain some, you lose some, you gain some, you lose some.
Exactly.
If you take a look, head coach Brett Peabody was over on the sideline. He was screaming at a referee. I think somebody missed something there. He was upset. I don't think he was yelling at his son.
Exactly.
Going to bring up a 3rd and 12 from their own 30. They need to get to the 42. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Peabody back to pass. He's rolling, and he's sacked again.
Taken down.
Bursting through is Anthony Jordan. He's a freshman from West Side of Macon, Georgia. Came all the way from Macon, Georgia to go to school at Grossmont.
Wow, he's out of our jurisdiction.
Yes, he is. But he didn't look like he was from Macon, Georgia on that one. He rushed in there, but he was nearby on that one and threw Peabody for a big loss. Takes the Vikings all the way back to the 20-yard line, and it's going to force a punch, Noah. 10-0, the Vikings, as the first quarter is winding down. Another low line drive punt. It's a Viking bounce there, splitting two defenders and taking it down the right sideline to the 40, to the 35, to the 30, to the 20. Still on his feet at the 15-yard line.
And taken down at the 10.
Wow, that was phenomenal on that play. Number 23 for Grossmont.
Wow.
Andrew Lira, he made that play at the very beginning when he split two defenders. He picked the ball up about the 40-yard line and split two defenders, and he outran the coverage by the Vikings and had clear sailing down the right sideline, broke a couple more tackles on the right sideline, and as he came back to the center of the field, he was knocked down. They're going to spot it all the way down at the 11-yard line. That is a return of 49 yards for the Griffins, and it puts them in excellent field position in the red zone. Handoff to the right, scampering into the end zone, untouched, is Dejon Williams. Nope. That would have been...
Was that number 35?
Yeah.
That was number 35. That'd be Eric Shanks.
Eric Shanks, okay.
Which gives the Griffins a 6 points. It's now 10-6, but let's see what can happen when they try to do the extra point kick.
Yes, and Ethan Albertson is on for the extra point.
He's a punter. He's a freshman, 6'2", 205 from San Diego, Mount Carmel High School. And the kick is up, and it is good.
And with 27 seconds left here in the first quarter, the big return set up there.
And here's a slow-mo of the last touchdown.
You're going to see he's going to go around right in, gets a great block from the corner there. He went untouched into the end zone. I think it was Terrence McLean that threw that block on the right tackle that enabled him to go into the end zone untouched. And so it is 10-7.
10-7
with the extra point.
The Griffins definitely put themselves on the board.
You know, and it was all set up from that 49-yard punt return. Let's see if the Vikings, I always say, and I know head coach Brett Peabody agrees, the best teams, the good teams, the great teams, when you score on them, they come right back and score on you. Let's see if the Vikings can return the favor to Grossmont. 27 seconds remaining here. You're seeing a little bit of shadows. It's from the press box here, only on the left side of the field. The kick is another good kick. It's going to go into the end zone and out of the end zone. It's going to be a touchback. The Vikings are going to get the ball out at the 25. Boy, that field goal, the extra, the kickoff just in. That was by number 98 once again. It's the second time he's kicked it out of the end zone. Ethan Albertson. Mount Carmel in San Diego is where he's from. 205 pounds, 6'2" freshman. And he's booted two of them out of the end zone on kickoffs. So let's see what the Vikings can do here. In the shotgun, which he's been in the shotgun on every single play, would be Drake Peabody. Two receivers on each side. Peabody back to pass. He's got a man open over the middle, and it's caught, slung down.
Grabs him by the tail.
And that is number 2, Jonathan Bonds, on the reception for the Vikings. It's going to take it right out to about the 40-yard line. It's going to be a 15-yard gain and a first down, Vikings. Exact same formation. You see the coaches on the sideline there are yelling plays. You usually have 3 different coaches that are yelling plays or signaling plays, trying to throw the defense off, and they don't want to telegraph what they're doing.
It's all split-second decisions.
Right, so you got one guy who's giving the correct play and the other 2 are decoys. But in the meantime, the end of the first quarter is here upon us. 10-7, Vikings over the Griffins. You know, I was thinking we were going to run away with it until that big punt return there. which was set up by some good defensive plays by the Griffins, 2 consecutive sacks on Drake Peabody.
So what did we see here in the first quarter? We saw some amazing offense, amazing defense, and I mean the Griffins definitely put themselves on the board, and we put ourselves on the board like maybe what, 4 minutes into the game?
Yes.
There you go.
You know it. The Griffins actually, once after the Vikings had scored to make it 7-0, and then the Vikings got the ball in the red zone for the second time, they stiffened up their defense and forced the Vikings to a field goal. The Griffins looks like they've taken that momentum and is look like a different group out there right now. We'll see what happens here. The Vikings with an ever-potent offense of theirs. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Peabody barking out signals. He's got his running back to his left-hand side, 2 feet behind him. He gets the ball running up the middle. It's going to get about 4 yards on the play, maybe 3 yards on the play. It's number 3, and that is Tayshawn White. Where's Tayshawn from?
Tayshawn White, he's number
3.
Number 3, Tayshawn White is... He is a running back, 5'10", 200, freshman from Inglewood, California.
Inglewood, California.
That's kind of in the outskirts of LA.
Yes, it is. Out to the 44-yard line. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 6. Wanting seconds of the second quarter. Handoff right up the middle, carrying a couple defenders into Griffin territory, and another Viking first down. And that was number
73?
No, I want to say Jonathan. Was it either 2 or 3? It's either Tayshawn White or Jonathan Bonds. Maybe I'll look at the monitor and see if I can see
get a better view from that.
Regardless, it's a Viking first down as they're now in Griffin territory at the 49-yard line. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Peabody back to pass, stepping up into his throw, and it's intercepted. Stepping into his pass is number 44, Bryson Collins. And Collins interrupts a brilliant drive going for the Vikings. And all of a sudden, this game has changed after Vikings jumping out to a 10-0 lead. I couldn't tell on that play. Did it look like the did the receiver slip and fall?
Probably.
Is that why it was intercepted?
Probably because, you know, the turf can be a little slippery at times.
There was a penalty after the play, and it was on the Vikings. It brings it out a little bit further for the Griffins to the 40-yard line. And that's where they're going to start their possession. And Josh Harris, still the quarterback. He's going to have 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. He's got 2 running backs in the backfield next to him. They gave us to the second one. Rolling to his left, he's going to be chased down by a plethora of Vikings.
Rolls into opposing traffic.
Yes, he did. I see 42 for the Vikings, and that was Pierre Hayes, was one of the 3 Vikings that was in on the tackle. It's going to be a 2-yard loss. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 12 for the Griffins.
Pierre Hayes, he's a defensive lineman.
Rolling to his right, he's got a man wide open at the 45-yard line, complete at the Viking 45, going down the sideline and going out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
That was number 13 from Grossmont.
22-yard gain on the play. And that was Jacob Rosar.
Yep, wide receiver, freshman, 6'1", 175, from Bonita Vista High School and from Chula Vista, California.
Nice gain there all the way to the 30, call it the 37-yard line.
I believe you're right.
So it's a 23-yard gain. But he was wide open. Right over the middle. It looked like there was the Vikings were in a zone coverage Four-man rush for the Vikings, 3 linebackers. The handoff goes up the middle. He sheds a couple of Viking tacklers. And it looks like there was a fumble on the play.
Perhaps.
And the Vikings recovered. Hey!
There you go.
I want to say the one jumping him down was DeAndre Johnson, number 9. But we do have a change of possession as there was a fumble on the play.
Maybe.
You know, I was watching, there was a couple of players that were banging into each other. I thought they were going to call a penalty on them that was away from the ball. And I should have been watching where the ball was because there was a fumble and the Vikings recovered. So it's a grid. Vikings desperately needed that turnover to change the momentum in this game, starting in possession at their own 35-yard line. Peabody standing at his 29-yard line, handing off going up the middle and diving, landing on his head.
Oh, a little bit of Three Stooges action over there. Number 28, that is Raphael Jones.
Raphael Jones, gosh. You know, the first 3 yards he was running and then he dove, but it looked like he ended up landing on his head and I did a little, what is that, not a somersault, but a roll.
Yeah, kind of a roll, yeah.
Ended up getting 4 yards on the play, 5 yards on the play, nice and acrobatic. 2nd and 5 from the 40. All the Viking players looking over to the sideline, seeing what the call's going to be. Once again, there's 3 coaches over there. You see him standing about the 30-yard line, right where the clock is. The clock that shows 12 minutes remaining.
11:58 now.
And the ball was handed off to number 9, first time he's had the ball, and that is Donald Gordon. Tackle was made by Anthony Sola. Once again, we mentioned Sola's name, number 45 for the Griffins, a couple times already.
Yes. Yeah, Anthony Sola, offensive lineman, freshman, 6'1", 220 from Morris High School in San Diego, California.
Peabody back to pass. He decides to run. He's going to get over the 40-yard line. He's hit from behind, falling forward. Actually, it was good that he fell forward because he got a couple extra yards on it, but he gets up limping just a little bit.
Yeah, he shakes it off.
He shakes it off, but that was a 3rd and 5 on the play, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. The Vikings are going to be about 3 yards shy and are going to be forced to punt. Let's see if the Vikings can get better coverage on this punt.
And here's the kick.
High, end over end. They're going to let it bounce. It takes a Viking roll at about the 17-yard line. Continues to roll, still rolling. Nice little wind kept it going all the way down to the 5-yard line. Turns out to be a very nice punt there. Good 45 and about a 55-yard punt. And I didn't see who punted. Did you see what our punters what that was by chance?
I didn't remember.
Okay. Oh, we're going to have to get back on that. We will actually have some halftime stats coming up. In the meantime, 10-7, the Vikings. The Griffins have the ball at their own 5-yard line. The handoff goes up the middle, trying to strip him right there. If you saw that a couple of Vikings, one guy was trying to make the tackle, and the other one was trying to strip him. The tackle was what prevailed. Going to get about 4 yards out to the 9-yard line. A group of Vikings were in on the tackle. You see number 6, he keeps coming in. He comes in with the play. Then he doesn't even join the rest of the team for the huddle for the Griffins. And then he's standing right near the 10-yard line. So he comes in with the play, whispers it to the quarterback, and then goes and lines up. Pass over the middle. Had a Viking on great defense on the play. It was number 6, I believe, for the Vikings.
Number 6 for defense, that is Malik Street, defensive back.
He was shadowing the wide receiver, and right as the ball came in at the last minute, he smacked the ball away. Great defensive play there. Where's he from?
He is from St. John Bosco from Bellflower, California.
Oh, there's a couple of them from St. John Bosco
Yeah.
on the Viking squad.
A good portion of them, actually.
brings up a 3rd and 6. Let's see if the Vikings can hold. Rolling to his left, the quarterback's going to keep it. He's got some running room, and he makes a great move all the way outside the 28-yard line, 29-yard line. It's going to be a big Grossmont first down. The Vikings had him pinned inside their own 15-yard line.
Number 8.
There's a Viking player down, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
Player number 8 is Josh Harris, quarterback, sophomore, 6'6", 230 from Oceanside, California. Oh yeah, we do have a player down. See if we can get his number.
Okay, he was trailing the play. He was actually rushing on the play and went down right as that quarterback made his move.
That'd be number 25. And that would be Keyshawn White, the linebacker.
From Inglewood.
Yeah.
He just made a tackle a moment ago, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He just said his name a few moments ago.
Yeah, I did, and now I think he's kind of got a little payback right now.
Let's hope Keyshawn is okay.
Yeah, I think he's just got the wind knocked out of him.
Meanwhile, I wanted to let you know a little bit of information here about the Vikings.
Oh, yes.
And, you know,
Oh, he's up.
Oh, good. He is up, and he's going off the field. We're red, black, and white. We were founded in 1927. Our enrollment's right around 25,000. Eloy Oakley is no longer here. In December 19th of 2016, he became a California commissioner, the chancellor. Eloy Ortez Oakley, we now have Dr. Reagan Romali, as of May 2017, is now our new president, with Randy Tutorp, the athletic director, and head coach Brett Peabody.
6th season. And we're back to the regular play.
Off tackle, a flag is down. I believe that's a hold on the Griffins. Actually, it's some wishful thinking. I'm wishing it's a hold.
Highly presumptuous, but we'll check it out. All right, what do you got for us?
Let's see what Garza says. Nope, he's going to, looks like he's pointing towards the Vikings.
Yeah.
He's asking, they're asking the coaches on Grossmont how they want to handle this. Do you want to take the play? So they are going to take the 5 yards in order to remain first down instead of taking the play. Sometimes if the play would have been if you gained more than 5 yards, you might want to take the play.
Yeah.
So that's why they were checking with the coaching staff. So it's going to take the ball to the 33-yard line. They need to get to the 38, so it will remain first down with 9 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Grossmont here has made a game of it against the Vikings. Back to pass, rolling to his left, makes a good move. Tons of daylight if you can get around the outside, and he cut. Great hustle there. Want to say that was 52? Heard him say Micah?
Number 52?
He said Micah made the stop, and I'm trying to see. But I don't see who that was. Oh well. It was a great stop by the Vikings up on the sideline. If he didn't make that tackle, that play goes for tons of yards. A mix-up in the backfield there. It looks like the quarterback wanted to pitch the ball, but the running back went the wrong way. And he ends up getting creamed there. Looks like he's holding his left shoulder. That's Josh Harris that's holding his left shoulder.
I thought so.
It looks like he was motioning to the sideline.
Maybe, yeah.
Is he wanting to come out?
Perhaps.
He is. I think something happened there to Josh, and he's being replaced by number 4. So on the broken play, he gets hurt. Anthony Posada, a freshman from Bonita Vista, is going to take his place. It's on a 3rd and 5. Back to pass, rolling to his right, being chased by the Vikings. Gets away, throws. Oh boy, he had a wide open receiver at the 38-yard line, right next to the first down, but he threw it about 4 yards behind him.
But no dice.
So the Vikings lucked out on that one. Let's hope that Josh Harris is okay. I see him over on the sideline right now, and he is holding his left shoulder. Yeah, he's actually going into the tent area where maybe he's trying to walk it off, but let's hope he's okay. He's actually going over to where when you're injured, you sit down like a stretcher.
That's right.
Type thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's where he's at right now.
So
So it's going to force a punt. The punt is not that great. It's going to bounce at the 42-yard line, takes a Viking roll, rolls about 8 yards all the way back to midfield. You see head coach Brent Peabody over there.
Oh, he's not happy.
He was talking to an official. The official was walking one way, and he was like, hey, the ball's over there. He's pointing the opposite way.
That's always funny when that happens.
So, a short kick, and with the bounce, it went the Vikings roll. It actually bounced backwards 8 yards. The Vikings are going to start in wonderful, fantastic field position here at the 50-yard line. 7 minutes, 39 seconds to go. Peabody standing at his own 44-yard line. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. He's got a running back standing on his right shoulder. Back to passes. Peabody, a blitz is on. A good call for the Vikings. Oh, you know, when the team is blitzing, you want to have a screen pass. That's what they did. There was one man they needed to beat, and unfortunately they couldn't beat him. 54 looks like was the receiver for the Vikings, and that was Jeremiah Apollo. So I show him as an offensive lineman, but it was a screen pass there, and they got the Vikings just shy of 5 yards, so we're going to call it 4. Let's call it a second down and a long 5 or a short 6. You know, your cup half full or half empty.
Exactly.
Everybody back to pass, looking to his right. Now he's rolling to his right, being chased from behind. He's going to be taken down, and he fumbles the ball. The ball goes out of bounds. The ball ended up being past the first down yard marker, but I believe his knee went down right at the 43-yard line. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3. You know, Peabody, he did not see the man behind him coming after him. Otherwise, he would have protected the ball a little bit better. So from the 38-yard line, 3rd and 3. Big play for the Viking offense here in this inaugural game of the 2018 season. Peabody downfield, incomplete, a little bit too high. Got an injured Griffin.
Yeah, number 10. That would be Matthew Feeler.
And he wasn't even anywhere near where the ball was. The pass was all the way at the 35-yard line on the high end of the field. This was all the way down on the near side of the field at the 30-yard line. So.
Oh yeah, he's limping. He's not going back in.
Yes, he did. And I still see the quarterback is still over on the trainer's bench as well, and he's about to be joined by another Griffin. And oh, the young man, he can't put any weight on his ankle at all.
Oh man, that must hurt.
Yeah, he did something really bad there. He's being guided by two trainers right now as they're taking him over to the trainer's table. So the Vikings are going to be forced to punt. Can you see what his number is, the punter's number?
That is number 29, I think.
The punt is a good one. It goes all the way into the end zone. And it looks
Tanner Carcamo.
Okay. So Tanner Carcamo, okay. That ball went a good 50 yards in the air. It landed at about the 2-yard line, went on into the end zone. So we've just been handed the stats through the 10-minute mark. We've got 6:22 to go here in the first half. Ball's at the 20-yard line to Griffins. The new quarterback in, he hands off to his left, getting through the wedge, getting about 3 yards before he's taken down. Number 26 was in on the tackle, and number 98 for the Vikings. 26 was Kai Keneshiro. He was the one that made initial contact. Where's Kai from? San Pedro. Hey, Kai, yeah, San Pedro, 6'1", 220-pound freshman. Play action, rolling to his right, throwing deep downfield. 3 Viking defenders converge right around midfield. And number 8, cross power. The defensive back, he raises his arms and puts them out. And so did Blake Jenkins, number 1.
Yep.
They both put their arms out. Good defense there. 3 defenders for the Vikings on that play. All converge on the one Griffin offensive player. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 7, 5:43. The clock stops with the incompletion. You know, in a couple of minutes here, Noah's going to be going downstairs. He's going to be getting an interview at the beginning of halftime with head coach Brett Peabody.
Absolutely, he's a great guy.
Back to pass, the screen is set up. Great defense right there by the Vikings. I couldn't see, was that number 98? If it was 98, it was Kaz Hayashi that was in on the tackle. It was a good play call. It was a screen pass, but they didn't get past the defensive lineman, and he was able to turn around and make the tackle. It brings up a 4th and 24. No, it's not 4th and 24. You only need to get to the 30. It's a 4th and 11. The punt is high in the air. It's going to be right near midfield. It bounces. It takes another Viking roll. It's about the 48-yard line, and a Grossmont player picks it up and starts to run, but, you know, you can't do that on a punt.
Bit of a panic, if you will.
Yeah. So the Vikings are going to take over on Grossmont's 48-yard line. The clock's still rolling. It was rolling. Now they finally stopped it with 4:43 to go. So I see for the Vikings, Tayshawn White had 19 yards rushing, and Raphael Jones had 17 yards rushing. Drake Peabody was 8 of 12 for 127 yards with a TD. We'll get back to the stats in just a moment here. So the Vikings 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. Little motion going on. One of the receivers joins Peabody in the backfield. Peabody looking over to the coaching staff. You can see them off in the distance right at our own 45-yard line, raising their hands in the air, hollering in the play for Peabody. Peabody at his 45, throwing downfield and almost intercepted there. Intended receiver was number 1, Victor Bates.
Yep, Victor Bates, wide receiver.
Defending on the play was Preston Piltoff, number 2 for Grossmont. Victor Bates and Patrick Lee both had 3 receptions for the Vikings. Milshawn Lathan and Jonathan Bonds had 1 reception each. We'll let Noah, in between plays, fill you in on that a little bit. But right now it's 2nd and 10. Peabody back to pass. He's looking deep downfield. He's throwing. He's got a man going deep. It's caught to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Vikings.
Outstanding. That is a crowd pleaser.
Patrick Lee with the reception and caught it at the 10 and scooted on into the end zone. A much-needed 6 points for Bader. Vikings go up 16-7.
Wow, holy touchdown, Batman.
You just see the separation speed that he had on that play. Patrick Lee did. When about the 20-yard line, when the ball went up into the air, he was even with the defender, and then he just took off.
Number 37, Austin Delgadillo, is doing, wow, unbelievable. And there you go.
Delgadillo with the extra point. And we'll see if we're going to have a replay here. We do have a replay. So you see Peabody here. He's looking to his right. Now he sees the receiver. But look at this. You might see the separation. Well, you couldn't really see it there. He caught the ball at about the 12, 13-yard line. But from the 25-yard line to the 20, he must have gained about 3 yards on the defender. He just, that burst of speed, he took off, made the catch, and sprinted the next 10 yards into the end zone for a touchdown. Vikings go up 17-7. What do you think, Noah?
Outstanding. I mean, that was definitely an amazing play, especially when he caught the ball and then just gunned it to the end zone. No effort. It was just like it came natural.
So let's see. The line is, he threw that ball from about the zone 45 to about the 15-yard line. So 35, about 40 yards in the air, and caught him dead on the run. Led him perfectly. So the Vikings with the kickoff, and the Vikings are going to kick one that goes off the fingertips of the Grossmont player and into the end zone, and he downs it. Nice kick by 37?
By 37,
No,
yes.
that was Austin Delgadillo.
That's him.
Okay. So Austin Delgadillo is our field goal kicker, and our punter is Tanner Carcamo. And Carcamo's really got some good boots that are going in there. So the Vikings, let's see if the Vikings can hold here and try to put some more points up on the board. It's now a 10-point lead, 4.5 minutes to go here in the first half. And the shadows have now enveloped, well, a good portion of the center of the field. Handing off in a good stop there, holding on to the player for his teammates. He held him up for his teammates to knock him down. And that was number 45 you saw walking in the screen there. And that was King Joseph Maile. King Joseph Maile from Carson, California. 6'3", 260-pound freshman. He grabbed him in the backfield, but the momentum carried the rusher forward a little bit till other Viking defenders were there to help him out. Passing the ball downfield, almost intercepted and tipped, and it is intercepted.
Whoa, and grabs him by the tail.
Jeremiah Houston tipped the ball, and Blake Jenkins intercepted it. Boy, that was interesting there. It looked a little bit of a push-off even by the Grossmont offensive player. He, right up at midfield, he pushed off just a teeny bit, but it was tipped by Jeremiah Houston, and then Blake Jenkins got the interception, exactly what the Vikings needed. And let's see if the Vikings can add some points here before the end of the first half. They have excellent field position. They start this one on their own 46-yard line. 3:50 to go. First half. First game of the season. Your Long Beach City College Vikings 17, the Grossmont Griffins 7. Peabody standing at the 40. Barking out signals back to pass. He's flushed, and he's going to get sacked and go down. Actually, stood him up, and then they bring him down at about the 40-yard line. Peabody throws the ball up into the air to the referee. The forward progress is going to be, it looks like, at the 41. He ended up at the 39-yard line, but they're going to mark it at the 41-yard line. So on the sack, it's going to be a loss of about 4 yards. So the Vikings need to get just past the 45-yard line of the Griffins and have the ball at their own 41-yard line. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1 running back in the backfield, and he gets it, going right up the middle. Oh, a beautiful gain there, all the way getting close to the first down marker. That was Victor, no, that's not. That's Tayshawn White. Tayshawn White went right up the middle, and he got up about within a yard of the first down marker, getting the ball again, and this time he gets stood up and knocked down. He's not going to get the first down. The Vikings ran that play rather quick that time, giving it to Sean White, seeing if he could get the first down, but he couldn't. Now there's a decision for the Vikings. It's a 4th down. They're going to go for it. 4th and 1. They're at the 46 of the Griffins. They need to get just inside the 45. The Griffins are going to call a timeout. That is their second timeout of the first half.
Which is 2 minutes and 31 seconds left on the clock in the second quarter, aka first half.
That's right. You know, I was wondering if they were just going up to the line of scrimmage to see what the Griffins were gonna, what type of defense they were gonna offer, because if they don't get a first down, Griffins would get the ball and they would have an excellent field position.
Definitely.
So the Vikings are over on the sidelines. They're talking. You see Brett Peabody there. He had the Viking hat on with a white shirt and a beige pants standing out on the field. Now you're looking at Grossmont. You see Peabody there, Father Peabody at the 45-yard line. There's Grossmont coming back. Right about the 44-yard line there, you see Brett Peabody up on the top of your screen. And you know what? They did change their mind. They decided they're going to go ahead and punt. Carrasco standing back at his own 40-yard line. Carcamo, not Carrasco, excuse me. Tanner Carcamo.
Right.
standing at his own 40. Line of scrimmage is the 46 of Grossmont. The kick is a high punt. Fair catch being called for and made at the 15-yard line. And it was fair caught by Andrew Lira. 2 minutes and 24 seconds. Looks like in a minute here you're going to be taken off to go down for that interview.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're going to be having a interview right after the first half once it ends. Noah is going to go downstairs and have an on-field interview with head coach Brett Peabody. Talk about the first half. Have any idea what you're going to ask him?
Well, I usually ask him, how do you think it went? What do you want to improve, and so on and so on. It's usually a 3-question minimum.
Back to pass complete out on the flat to number 6. Wilton Cravens. Craven weaves his way out, and he gets himself a first down. He gets about 12 yards on the play. Takes it out to the 27-yard line. Vikings look like they're in a little bit of a prevent 4-3 defense. The pitch on the play hit hard on the sideline, and losing his helmet was number 8 right there. And when you lose your helmet, you have to come off the field for a play. But that was Cross Poyer. He put a pop on there right on the sideline, and his helmet came right off, knocked the defender back quite a bit. Poyer is 6 foot, 205-pound sophomore from that good old St. John Bosco football factory. Brings up it's actually a second and 10, scoreboard showed first and 10, and being flung down with one hand is, wait, was it 44 or 45? 45? You're taking off, alrighty. King Joseph Miley on that with the sack, and he did it with one hand, just flung him down. And it looks like Grossmont is going to take their last time. They want to discuss this. They want to make sure they get a good play out there. The Vikings have such a quick attack offense. You don't want to give the Vikings any time after this punt, if they punt, to have the opportunity to score. Looking at it from the Vikings point of view, you want to get a good hold right now on this third down. You're actually glad there was a timeout. As a matter of fact, the scoreboard shows that each team has 2 timeouts. I actually thought that that was the Griffins' third timeout, so I was looking at the official, but that's what I was thinking. So you're looking there, number 8 never came back into the game. The quarterback for Josh Harris has not come back into the game for Grossmont with that left shoulder injury. And I'm looking for him out on the field, and I don't even see him on the field anymore. Maybe he's already gone back into the locker room. Meanwhile, back to pass, looking to his left, now to his right, going to take off running, and good catch-up speed there by number 10. That looked like it might have been a first down run, but for the Vikings, Justin Allman just had some really good rundown speed there and forced the quarterback to go out of bounds. And by going out of bounds, he's going to come up short. And even better news than that, it stopped the clock, which is the last thing, if you're Grossmont, the last thing you wanted to have happen was the clock to stop, so the Vikings would have another opportunity. So Grossmont, line of scrimmage is their own 27-yard line. They're going to have to punt the ball away. Fair catch being called for by the Vikings and made at his own 48-yard line, and that was made by none other than Victor Bates. Call it the 47-yard line. So the Vikings are going to have excellent field position here with 1 minute and 26 seconds to try to put some points up on the board. So Noah has made his way downstairs, or he's making his way downstairs now. He'll be interviewing head coach Brett Peabody in just a couple moments. Let's see if we can get some points here on the board. Vikings with a 10-point lead, 17-7. Vikings come into this game nationally ranked. The Vikings in the nation were ranked number 27. In the state were ranked number 11. Peabody has 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Barking out play.
1 2 1 2 testing. Testing.
Back
1
to
2.
pass. Completed the 45 to the 50 and out of bounds.
1 2 1 2 testing. Testing.
We hear
1 2
you,
3.
Justin.
1 2 3.
Noah's down there with the microphone. He's testing it. We can hear you. At the 48-yard line, so it was a 4-yard gain. Brings up a 2nd and 6. Peabody back to pass. Complete at the 45 to the 40. Running out of bounds to stop the clock is Jonathan Bonds. Gets a first down, stops the clock with 1:13 to go. He came from the right side, made the catch in the middle of the field, and ran all the way to left out of bounds.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 check
at the 38-yard line.
1 2 3 check. Check.
Back to pass. Peabody completed the 31 to the 30 to the 15, inside the 15 all the way down to the 10 as Victor Bates again, and another Viking first down. And it looks like they've stopped the clock. I believe the Vikings have called a timeout. So instead of trying to get 3 points, the Vikings are now trying to get a full touchdown out of this. And you see the Vikings huddling up. You see Brett Peabody with his headphones in his hand right there, standing about the 18-yard line. He's talking to number 28, Raphael Jones. You see Neil Ioga, one of the coaches there, talking to number 1, which is Victor Bates. And I just did see the quarterback that was injured. His name, Josh Harris. He no longer has his uniform on. He's now standing over on the sidelines, but he's walking under his own power. That's good. As far as number 10, the other gentleman that had gone down with a bad ankle, he now has crutches. And they've iced down his, it looks like his right knee. So that is the injury update that I can see from here. The Vikings with the ball. 1 minute and 4 seconds to go at the 11-yard line. 1st and 10 for young Drake Peabody. Peabody looking to the sidelines for the play. He's got it. He's calling it out. Peabody with the ball. He's going to run it to the 10, to the 8. He's going to be dragged down at about the 8-yard line. Peabody took off. He got about 3 yard lines. Looks like initial contact was made there by Bryson Collins, number 44, for the Griffins. The clock continues to run, 43, 42, 41. From the 8-yard line, Peabody back to pass. Looking into the end zone, he's got a man out about the 5-yard line. Completed the 4. He's knocked out of bounds, but they say he was tackled inbounds. I believe the Vikings are going to be forced to call another timeout, and they do with 28 seconds remaining. But Vikings had the ball at 11, so they could get a first down. It would have been all the way at the 1-yard line would be a first down. But he went out and he was tackled at about the 3. So it'll be a 3rd and 2, 28 seconds remaining in the first half. So you see the offensive coordinator over there. You see offensive line coach talking to the linemen. And then you have people up here, upstairs, I should say, up here in the press box. They're the ones that are seeing the big picture. They're seeing the whole field. They radio down and tell them what, tell the coaches on the field what they see, and the coaches on the field relay it to the players. The players here do not have the quarterback does not have a microphone, or I should say, like they do in major college and the NFL, where in their in their helmet they have a headset in there where they can listen. Sometimes they don't have that here in the community college. But the big play, the biggest play actually of the first half, it could really determine a lot of what's going to happen going forward. At the 3-yard line, 28 seconds remaining, 3rd and 2 for the Vikings. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. You've got 1 running back standing to Peabody's right-hand side. Peabody's standing on the right hash mark, right about the 8-yard line, waiting for this snap. 30 seconds even to go. Looks like they started the clock there, and then they didn't give the Vikings an extra second. We lost a couple seconds there. Peabody standing at his 8-yard line, running back in motion to his left, and beautifully done. The Vikings right up the middle for a touchdown. Drake Peabody takes it in 3 yards. We'll see on the replay when we show the replay here in a moment. There was a really nice block by the left tackle, and that's what opened up such a gigantic hole for Drake Peabody. But Peabody gets a rushing touchdown. The Vikings go up 23-7, and now we've got Austin Delgadillo on for the extra point. The snap is high. The place to kick is going to split the uprights, and with 27 seconds to go, the Vikings have a 24-7 lead. You hear the horn in the background going. That's the horn after a touchdown. And as head coach Brett Peabody told me, they also do that on third downs when they're on defense. I love the horn. I don't know if you folks can hear it on TV, but that, you know, if it sounded a little bit different, it's like, what do they say in Game of Thrones? one horn is for wildlings. No, one, yeah.
Here's a replay.
Here's the replay. Now take a look as Peabody goes to his left-hand side here. You're going to see the left tackle make a great block right there. I believe that was number 84 on the center. 77. 77 made a great block, and that's what set up the whole thing. Stephen Almeida, 6'4" offensive lineman from Lawndale, California. He was able to hold his man, and that's what enabled the Vikings to get the touchdown there. The kickoff goes into the end zone, bringing it out, hit hard there by number 8 for the Vikings. That's Cross Poyer. We've called his name a few times today. And Poyer takes him down at about the 20-yard line and 22 seconds remaining. I have a feeling Grossmont's just going to run out the clock. They're probably just going to run it. They've already lost their starting quarterback. They've got their backup in right now, which is Anthony Posada. Posada with 2 receivers to his left, 2 to his right, with a running back behind him. And they are just going to run it up the middle. Hit immediately by the Vikings, throwing down with a 1-yard gain. And I believe that's going to be the last play of the first half. And looking to see who the last man to get up. The man that's still on the ground was the one that made the tackle. And none other than number 95, who's holding his right elbow. And that was Marvin Boyd, 6'4", 275-pound freshman from Hawkins in Los Angeles. And you can see he's trying to shake it off right now. He's got a stinger on his right elbow. And he's actually taking a knee over on the sidelines. But I think someone called the timeout, and that's why the clock didn't run out with 6 seconds to go. So this will probably be another running play, and it is right up the middle, falling down on his own almost. There were 2 Viking players that were there. And that's going to do it for the first half. The Vikings lead 24-7. And we're looking down to the field to see where I'm looking at the head coach and to see where Noah's at for Noah to do that interview. As you see the Vikings walking off the field, you see head coach Brett Peabody there leading the pack. But Peabody's right there about the 9-yard line. You see him in the white shirt. And he continues to walk over. He's right there at the end. But I don't see our men over there doing the interview. But the Vikings with a 24-7 lead. Excellent first half. 3 touchdowns. They jumped out to a quick 10-0 lead. I'm looking for here it is, my scoring sheet. And the Vikings started off with Patrick Lee, a 5-yard pass from Drake Peabody for the first touchdown, and then Delgadillo kicked a 28-yard field goal for a 10-0 lead. It was cut to 10-7 by Grossmont, 11-yard run by Kobe Uri, and Albertson made the kick that cut it to 10-7, and that's all I have on me right now.
We're blowing this interview off. I don't know where Peabody is. Stay with us. The second half is coming up.
Stay with us, folks. The second half is coming right back up. Vikings 24, Griffins 7. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Randy Jones along with Noah Russell. Noah, 24-7, Long Beach City College over Grossmont.
Unbelievable. That is a picture-perfect way to start off a football season.
You know, the most impressive thing, I know the Vikings are going to put up a lot of points, but it's points allowed.
Of course.
And they only gave up 5 first downs.
Yeah, so right now...
They gave up 57. Well, first off, the Vikings had 12 first downs.
Yeah.
And led by Drake Peabody, he was 14 of 20 for 226 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was sacked, though, 4 times. He did throw an interception. And receiving-wise, Tayshawn White had 7 receptions and for 27 yards. Raphael Jones, 4 for 17.
Definitely.
Victor Bates had 1 for 8 yards. Vikings received the kickoff in the first half. They are kicking off to start the second half, and we are underway. The kick is taken right at the goal line to the 10 to the 15. A hand gets on him, and you shook that away. But the man that ran sprinting off the field, I believe, was number 34. He made the tackle. He just took off like a bolt of lightning.
Yeah, angry bull.
Yeah, it was Deion Williams. Boom! And he made the tackle, and boom! He was already on the sidelines.
Yep, he gave him the bulldozer.
You know, that's someone that has a lot of energy. You want to have that guy out there all the time if you could.
Oh, absolutely.
So Grossmont takes over on their own 19-yard line, first down and 10. 2 steps back, pass to his left, complete at the 15 to the 20, hit hard and taken down. Tackle was made there by number 21, and that was Jack Genova. Jack is a freshman from Mater Dei. That Mater Dei coming up again there.
That's
it's
it.
A 6-yard gain. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 4. So for Grossmont, starting quarterback is injured. His replacement is in now, throwing it, completing it, his 2nd completion in a row. But he's actually going to lose yards on this one. It was completed to Jonathan Summers, but he loses a yard. Maybe they're going to say he got back to the line of scrimmage. But it's Anthony Posada. What do you think of Anthony Posada coming in to replace Josh Harris?
Well, you never know. I mean, you know, kind of like in baseball when you have a pinch hitter, sometimes for the good, sometimes for not so good. But in football, it's really hit and miss.
Yeah, you're right. The blitz is on for the Vikings, and he's slung down all the way back inside the 5-yard line. What is this guy's number? I can't see what the number
Number
is.
10, I think?
Is that number 10?
11.
This guy.
Oh, this guy. This is 45.
45 on the sack right there.
King Joseph Male.
Hey, he's actually been, he really came on there in the 2nd quarter.
Absolutely. Yep,
King Joseph Male.
That's
I
right.
hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly.
I'm pretty sure we are.
Mahale.
Mahale sounds Hawaiian. Book him, Dano.
King is from Carson, California.
Yes, indeed.
6'3" freshman, 260-pounder, keeps playing like that, and he'll be at a Division I college in no time.
Oh, no kidding. I could see him playing at UCLA.
Punting from his own end zone out to about the 33-yard line, where it takes it doesn't take much of a bounce for anyone. It bounced right at the 34, fell back to the 33, to the 32. Vikings are going to have excellent field possession to start this drive. First drive of the 3rd quarter, leading 24-7 here. Veterans Memorial Stadium. The whole field is now covered. The lights are on, I say covered in shade. The lights are now on. They really haven't taken effect yet.
That's right.
But
still have a little bit of natural light left.
Yeah, there's still a little bit of light, but the sun is actually behind the press box. So the press box is what's providing the shade.
Yeah, pretty much.
Peabody handing off to his left and fumbling the ball away was Victor Bates. A lot of people going for the ball, and I think the Vikings recovered. They did. It looks like number 56. Whew. Thank goodness.
Number 56, that's Elijah Thomas.
Yes, Elijah, a freshman from Sarah, another good high school football program.
Defensive linebacker, 6'4", 290, from Gardena, California.
So he recovered it at the 33, so it's a 1-yard loss on the play. Brings up 2nd down and 11.
2nd down and 11.
Peabody back to pass over the middle, complete, short little pass. It's going to be about a gain of only 2 yards. The pass was complete to Jonathan Bonds.
Jonathan Bonds.
Jonathan Bonds. Jonathan had 2 receptions in the first half for 25 yards. Victor Bates, 4 receptions for 102 yards. Patrick Lee had 5 receptions for 69 yards, 2 big touchdowns.
Oh, yes.
We also had Drake Peabody rushing in for a touchdown. Peabody back to pass. The blitz is on. Oh, just off the fingertips. The whole defensive line for Grossmont was in the backfield. If that ball is completed, it's running downhill touchdown for the Vikings. Unfortunately for the Vikings, they did not complete it. So let's see what they're going to do. It looks like they don't want to bring the field goal kicker on, so they're going to go for it on this 4th and 9 early here. 3 minutes and 20 seconds into the second half. Actually, the clock is at 11:42. So 3:18.
4 down and 9.
Peabody back to pass. He's looking down the middle. He's going to take off and run. Oh, he's hit hard at the 25-yard line.
And a dog pile at the 25-yard line.
And that was his saving tackle. And a penalty flag is thrown afterwards. It was well after the play, so it has to be in sportsmanlike conduct. It's a matter of who it was on. But if it wasn't for that big hit on Peabody...
I think you're right, that probably was.
No, they said holding on the off. Boy, I don't know why you would call holding 15 seconds after the play was over, but they did. But the Vikings failed to get the first down, so Grossmont does not take the penalty. They take the play, and Grossmont will take over at the 29-yard line. Excuse me, at their own 24-yard line. You can hear the Viking cheerleaders in the background making some noise, imploring the crowd to make noise.
Exactly.
4-man rush for the Vikings from the 24, play action fake, and tons of running room, sliding feet first, which means you can't touch him, getting about 7 yards on it. Nice little run, Noah.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
You could do that.
Sure.
I couldn't.
I could probably get pummeled afterwards, but yeah, I could do that.
I would still be in the backfield just getting ready to move forward.
Exactly.
7-yard gain brings up 2nd and 3. Just to let you know, folks, at some point, Athletic Director Randy Tutorp will be here for an interview.
Yeah, momentarily.
And another fumble. I don't know if he was already down or not. And he wasn't. It's a fumble. The Vikings recover. Was he stripped? Did you see if he was stripped or not?
I couldn't tell.
It might have just been he had problems with the handoff and he never had full control of it. But the Vikings are going to recover at the 32-yard line. And another golden opportunity. The Vikings, great field possession, leading by 17 points early here in the third quarter.
That's fantastic.
24-7. As you can see, 3 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Peabody standing at his own 37.
Yep.
Faking a blitz was Grossmont. Play action pass. Complete, still on his feet. trying to throw the receiver down, but he threw him on his own body, so he's still alive. That was number 2. Once again, Jonathan Bonds. Who is he again? Bonds.
Jonathan Bonds.
That's right. A couple of receptions already here in the second half. He had 2 receptions in the first half. He got about 9 yards on the play. Big first down play. 2nd and a short 1. Peabody back to pass. He's getting a rush from the left-hand side, and he's able to get out of the pocket, and then he just threw it on the ground. If he does that in the pocket, it's intentional grounding, but he was able to get outside of the pocket. And now, no, that's a bad call. The referee, they just threw a flag down, but he was out of the pocket when he did that. Yep. That's a bad call by Dave Garza, the referee. He was out of the pocket. And if you take a look, you can actually see several of the Viking coaches are out on the field screaming at the referee, saying he was out of the pocket. The rule is if you're in the pocket and you throw it when you don't have a receiver nearby, that's intentional grounding. So it's a penalty and you lose the down. But he got out of the pocket when he threw it, so that should not have been called. Vikings get a bad break. Not only do they lose 5 yards, but they also lose the down. Brings up a 3rd down and 6. Peabody back to pass. He's throwing deep, overthrowing everyone, threw it into the end zone. And you have another one of those where you wonder, what are you going to do? Do you bring on your field goal kicker? I think his longest last year was 44 yards, if my stats were correct. And it looks like they are going to bring him in for a field goal attempt. Yeah, last year, Augustin Delgadillo had a 44-year... No. Extra points. His long was 44. And this one here is going to be from 45. Spot at the 35. The snap, the place, the kick. And it is, just a little bit to the left. He had plenty of leg on it. It would have been good from another 8-10 yards further. But it was just a little bit to the left. So Grossmont is going to take over from... In the NFL, they would take over at the 35-yard line where the ball was spotted.
Yeah.
But here, they're taking it over from the line of scrimmage, which was the 28-yard line. So Grossmont will be back in command of the ball. Grossmont handing off to his left to number 35. That's a man who's coming into the game. His number was 30. But
he's 13 here did a, or 12, 13 did a little somersault going on there.
Jeremiah Houston.
Yeah.
Did he somersault all the way back to Houston?
Yeah, maybe. It's sort of a Batman defense move right there.
Ball carrier was Kobe Uri. He's been the workhorse for Grossmont. Back to pass, throwing into the flat, complete. And it's going to be complete for a yard loss. So it was... No, he's going to get a yard gain. So they lost 2 yards on the run, and now they're going to gain the 2 yards back on that completion just now. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 10. Clock's winding down. It's going to be under 9 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter before they snap it. Anthony Posada back to pass. He's getting rushed. He gets hit and knocked down, but got rid of the ball and completes it. The pass was completed to number 1, Jonathan Summers. He went out of bounds right in front of the Vikings bench, and it's good enough for a 1st down. And there's a Viking defender that is down.
Oh boy!
Back at the 21-yard line. Let's hope he's okay.
Oh, he's fine. He's fine. He's getting up. He's walking all right. Just got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, he wants to go back into the huddle, and they're like, no, they're not going to let him. They're going to have to make him come out of play.
He's not looking too swell.
You said that's number 21?
That is, I think so. Can't see the number too well.
Yeah, I don't want to call out someone's name without, I don't want to say the wrong name.
Number 10.
And I'm glad we just said the wrong person.
Yeah. That's,
Justin Ullman. We have 2 number 10s, one for offense, one for defense. So that's what you were looking to.
Yeah.
We had to look back out there and make sure they were on defense.
Yep.
You did the same exact thing I did. We both looked. We found it at the name at the same time.
Yeah.
And we both looked up.
Had to make sure.
Had to make sure. Back to passing. It's going to go down. It's going to be a sack. Beautiful sack there. Clapping his hands all by himself. Number 95. That's
He's
Marvin Boyd.
Yes, Marvin Boyd, a defensive line, 6'4", 275, freshman from Hawkins High School in Los Angeles, California.
Where is Hawkins? You ever heard of that?
It's in Los Angeles.
It's in, well, hey, but you know where in Los Angeles?
Where?
I don't.
I have no idea.
Okay. I guess I can Google map it.
Yeah.
All right, with the sack there by Hawkins, it brings up a 2nd and 15. Grossmont needs to get to the 49-yard line to get a 1st down. 2-step drop, pass complete. Running to the outside, throwing down is actually dragged down and thrown out of bounds by number 13 again there for the Vikings. And that was Jeremiah Houston. Throwing him out of bounds right about the 40-yard line.
It's in South Los Angeles, to answer your question. Hawkins High School's in South LA.
South LA, okay. Very good. It's going to bring up a third down and about 9 yards. 7:45 to go, third quarter. Vikings 24, your Vikings of Long Beach City College, and the Griffins 7. I'm Randy Jones. I'm joined by Mr. Noah Russell.
That's me.
Back to pass, looking downfield, had plenty of time to throw, but overthrows the intended receiver, which was a good thing because 2 Vikings were there on defense. We had Mason Bowen as well as Jeremiah Houston that were both defending on the play. And it looks like I'm being joined right now by the athletic director of your Long Beach City College Vikings, none other than Randy Tutorp. How you doing, Randy?
Hey, I'm doing well right now. It's always good to be starting the second half with a decent lead, so very happy about how we're playing.
Yeah, it got a little worrisome there when it was 10-0, and all of a sudden it was 10-7, and they had good field possession. Another poor punt, running up to make a fair catch right at the 41-yard line, is Victor Bates. So, Randy, there's been a lot of shuffling around in the divisions this year. We used to be with Mount Sac, and we're the 3-time defending Northern Central League champion.
Yeah.
And now we're no longer in the Central League.
Yeah, so the Southern California Football Association periodically does, kind of a review of how performance of the teams that are in their divisions, and occasionally will go through a year and recycle. So this last year, that's what took place, and I think they got it right. I think they did the right thing, reviewing a 4-year history and trying to create as much parity in divisions as possible.
Peabody hands off a great run, and he's still on his feet, almost breaking the last tackle. If he breaks that tackle, he's gone for a touchdown. That was number 20, and that was Pierre Robinson. It's the first time we've seen Pierre running the ball today. But a nice run there for Pierre. Over 20 yards, gets him a first down inside the 45-yard line to the 43. Quickly, Peabody's with the snap, giving it right back to him, getting inside the 40-yard line down to the 39. As you were saying, Randy, about the division changes.
Yeah, so again, the SCFA competition committee really looked at a 4-year history of performance and took into account, conference championships and RPI, and were able to really use data to kind of separate and create, hopefully for this next 2-year cycle at least, parity amongst each division. So that being said, with Mount Sac, Riverside, and Long Beach all in one division, those 3 teams have been either a top 4, top 5 team each of the last 4 years, so it made sense that they would get split up.
Yeah, it would make sense, but it's hard because only one of them usually get to go to the playoffs, and maybe because they all play against each other. Meanwhile, Peabody takes the ball right to the 40-yard line and will bring up a third down. They need to get to the 33 for a first down, so bring up a 3rd and 7. So, with all 3 of those teams playing against each other, it's hard for them to have the second best record amongst the 3 divisions. And so sometimes they might not be that extra the fourth playoff team.
Yeah, and in fact, that's been our situation 2 out of the last 3 years.
Yes, it has. Peabody looked like it was horse collared down, and I see a penalty flag coming in. It's probably going to be roughing the passer. Peabody loses his helmet on the play, but I believe it's going to be a first down for the Vikings on this play after the personal foul. Must be difficult for a head coach to have your son as the quarterback. I mean, do you look at that as a player, or are you looking at that as your son right now?
It's not at all the same situation, but I just got done coaching my daughter in volleyball for the last 3 years, and certainly the risk factor is not the same for our 14-year-old playing volleyball. But I'm sure that coaching your son has got to be a little bit difficult out here. That being said, Brett is a seasoned coach, and you get into this, you're really looking at it from a coaching standpoint. So I'm sure there's the moments.
Yeah, I'm Randy Jones, and this is the athletic director, Randy Tutorp, sitting to my left right now. The penalty brought the ball all the way to the 30-yard line. Excuse me, to the 25-yard line. So instead of being sacked, because he was horse collared all the way back at the 48, in essence, it's like a 23-yard penalty.
Yeah, as a football coach on the defensive side, you got to be looking at that, and just those are the things that rack your brain, you know, on Sunday.
This third down, that would have been it would have forced a punt. So instead, it gives the Vikings a first down, and now they're, you know, very close to getting back into the red zone as they're at the 4-yard gain. They're down to the 21-yard line. So you were saying you coach your daughter.
Yeah.
In volleyball, if I...
Sure.
Okay.
So my point is, you know, as a seasoned coach, and I've coached a long time, I don't really look at it as my daughter. I'm looking at it as a team and position and roles and responsibilities, and then outcomes, you know. So you're looking and assessing outcomes. So, you know, there's the moments, I'm sure, where it really sets in that it's your kid out there, but for the most part, you're going to focus on plays like that right there with Peabody throwing in a touchdown.
Running a great out. He was all the way wide right. He took 2 steps forward, cut to his left 3 yards, and went downfield. Peabody hit him with a beautiful strike. I believe that was 20. Is that 20 or 28? Is that Pierre Robinson?
It could be Pierre again.
Or is that Raphael Jones?
It's 20.
It's 20? All right, so that was Pierre Robinson there on. Yeah, it was really the pattern that he run. What I really am impressed with young Drake Peabody, he's on those long, deeper passes, he's leading all the receivers. No one's having to stop and wait for the ball to get there.
Yeah, the earlier first half touchdown that came across the field was just a absolutely beautiful throw to Victor, number 1. And just fantastic execution.
See up at the 15-yard line. See that little, it's actually coming out of the backfield. That's where he came from.
Little Marshall Faulk action.
Yeah. So he came out of the back. So it was a decoy. The guy in front was really playing a good decoy as he took a couple steps forward. Then he turned to the sideline. That drew the defender away. And then at the layout of the backfield came. And it really made the play look... It looked so good at first, I thought he must have done a really good move, but he just came out of the backfield later on.
So again, in the moment, that's coach not looking at it being his son, but that's just a football player. But now after the fact, yeah, you get to have a little enjoyment and extra satisfaction in that it was your son that executed that.
Well, I'm sure he's also happy that his son got a rushing touchdown. I did see a few years ago, about 3 years ago, he sent me a video of his 10th grade, Drake's 10th grade, with all of his highlights, and I mean he was just passing the ball all over the place back then. With the touchdown, 4:31 remains in the third quarter. It's the Vikings now 31-7 over the Griffins. The kick is going to be a little bit shorter than his other ones. Actually, he traveled all the way to the 2-yard line, coming it back across the field to the 15 to the 20, still on his feet, 25, one man to beat at the 30. He gets around the edge of the 40, 45, all the way up to midfield, and he's hit and nailed by number 37, that was our kicker, yeah. Augustin Delgadillo.
Yeah, that was our kicker for sure. You know, those are those moments I think that's not every kicker, but a lot of kickers get excited about. So.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I mean, it's, you know, I guess you could call it a truck. He got truck there at midfield. He was the last one there. He didn't look like a kicker when he made that tackle. I mean, my stat shows he's 5'9", 170 pounds, but he looked much bigger on that play. So we covered the you know, having a head coach and having your son as a head coach with you. It's a head coach and a daughter. But so with the different divisions, who are the ones that voted on that? Because now we moved from the Central League to the Northern League. So
yeah, really, it was a recognition again that there was some movement needed, and so the data of the last 4 years really drove the conversation. It became a real ranking based on the 4 years performance, and then snaking the ranks around to plot the teams into the appropriate divisions. And so we landed there really by our outcomes. And again, that's the hope is that that's going to create the correct parity, and that we would continue to look at this over you know, maybe the next 4 years, allow another 4 years cycle to occur, and take that data to look at overall RPI and whether or not we got the colleges in the right divisions.
Okay.
So there was even some what we would say vertical movement as well. So, you know, going from national to American, which has always occurred, but it was
so
really
vertical means national to American, and then the lateral would just be the Northern Central or
correct.
Southern.
And the
Okay,
lateral
gotcha.
really hasn't been what's happened in the most recent past, and it was believed by many that that was a very necessary move. Again, to avoid those situations like a Mount Sac, Riverside, and Long Beach all in the same division.
That tackle there was a combined tackle by Jalen McNeil and Justin Allman as well. One of them hit it, the other one cleaned it up. So we now have Bakersfield and Canyons, along with Ventura. We have Moore Park in East LA, not to say anything about East LA or Moore Park, but I know Ventura was a playoff team last year. Bakersfield Canyons beat us last year. So it's, even though we went to no division, we still got some tough teams.
Oh, 100%. In the National League, in the SCFA, you're going to have some very competitive football teams, and we expect obviously Ventura to be very strong. We expect Canyons, who was really good last year, and Canyons historically is a fantastic football school, to be a tough opponent. Bakersfield can rival pretty much with every college football program in the 3C2A. So these are not schools that don't have history and don't have a great football players. So Bakersfield, we played in bowl games, and so we expect to grind. You just hope again that you have a 2-dog race instead of a 3-dog race for a conference title.
Yeah, well, I know that I believe our last game of the year is at Ventura. That could probably is going to come down to, by chance, probably for the division.
Yeah, I think on paper.
And you look at Canyons and Ventura. Do you look at those two as the strongest two in our conference?
I think so, based on the most recent outcomes that both Canyons and Ventura, and shaped up in our schedule, that those last 2 games are going to be very, very critical and important football games.
Yes, indeed. We do play Mount Sac next week. So even though Mount Sac and Riverside are no longer in a division, we got both of them this year. We don't play Fullerton though, who's won 19 in a row, and I believe 2 national titles, or they were co-national in 2016 and won it outright in 2017.
Yeah. So again, part of the process of the lateral move, and then also looking at creating as much parity as possible, was to ensure that, again, not only separating the top teams based on their 4-year outcomes, but also ensuring that those top teams are playing against each other in the preseason. Because really, that's what we're looking for. You're looking for the greatest amount of parity and the greatest amount of competition to determine who is really the best 4 teams. And so to make that happen, so those teams are going to have to play each other in the preseason.
And it's been so close.
See how it is.
The one that gets left out could even be a number 2 seed in many instances.
Well,
but you have to have the first, whoever wins first place. That's about the 4th punt that is given. It's rolled back and given the Vikings a nice little roll there. It bounced backwards on Grossmont once again, and it's going to be Viking ball right at the 50-yard line. So we do have a lot of other sports here at Long Beach City College, and I do know that we have a new volleyball coach. Tell us a little bit. How was the recruiting go, or how did you get someone with the caliber of an athlete when she played, and the caliber of a talent that she is?
Yeah, that's privileged information. I can't share that.
So you don't want anyone else to know how to do it.
I'd like to keep my cards tucked away. No, honestly, Misty is an amazing person. Really, great coach, great person, and been just amazing for us at Long Beach City College. What it's meant for women's volleyball. Immediately back in competition for conference titles, playoffs, transferring athletes to 4-year universities, and then the other, I think, big story behind that is we added beach volleyball for the first time as an intercollegiate sport, and the timing of that and hiring Misty, 3-time Olympic gold medalist in beach volleyball, her and Carrie Walsh, the best beach partners in history of the sport, to have that be the person that is the inaugural year to lead the program is just ridiculous.
You know, that was a nice. There was just a right off the fingertips a moment ago of Peabody to Bonds. That one there is Pierre Robinson making a catch, streaking down the left sideline, getting a first down, taking it all the way to the 23-yard line.
Robinson having a big half here, and I know Coach told me we have a lot of good running backs, and it's showing right now.
Yeah, you know, it seems like the running backs are actually becoming receivers. You're getting got a yard, and I like it that they're able to get yards after the catch. It reminds me of a Taz Bateman when he was here a few years back. Play action pass there, another completion. It's going to be close to another first down. Actually, Bruins needed to get to the 13, and I have to see where they mark it. They might be right at a first down. You know, one thing I never see is them do measurements. They just sort of do an eyeball. And I met these guys beforehand, and they didn't look like they could see that far away. But they just don't do measurements really in community college. It's an eyeball type thing.
Well, you know, I think when if it's critical and they're not certain of it, you'll see the measurement come out.
It will come out.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was way off on that one because I was 2 yards away.
we need the fancy line marker, right?
That's right. You know.
Maybe you'll talk to Bob about advancing that for the future.
Yes, Bob. That is Bob Hirsch. He's the one that's in charge of our radio and TV. You know, our whole television program. Everyone that's involved in this is all students here.
Yes. At
Long Beach City College, from all of the cameramen. Noah next to me earlier that's doing the color commentary, but all of the cameramen and support personnel, everyone down below. I say down below, but you know, they're underneath the stadium. But everyone here is a student, so it's really it's nice to see the way they're able to do that.
Absolutely, and I mean, for me, I love seeing we have a student program out here with our athletic team. And then to be able to have another part of our campus driven by students learning and perfecting a craft to mutually benefit each other, I just think it's awesome.
You know, Pierre Robinson was doing it on a catch a moment ago, getting the first down. Then it was a run just now. He's having himself, like you mentioned, a fantastic third quarter. So we now have women's beach volleyball. Is there men's beach volleyball as well?
There is no men's beach volleyball, and the main driver of that is the NCAA has not sponsored men's beach volleyball. So for us as a two-year school, you know, transfer is very important. To have transferable opportunities for our student athletes is a big deal. And so the fact that about 4 years ago the NCAA for the first time sanctioned women's beach volleyball really opened up the platform for the 3C2A to come in and bring it on as a sport opportunity. What I like about it is, you know, that it's not just a sport opportunity. It's if you get a chance to see the beach volleyball game, it's a high quality game.
Yeah. And it's just a two people. It's 2-on-2s.
Correct.
Okay.
But at our level here at the community college, we're able to put out a very good product. Last year, our top freshman at the end of the season was actually recruited and picked up a scholarship to USC. And so that's a good representation of when I say the quality of the beach volleyball game here at the 3C2A and at Long Beach City. That's the quality. When we're transferring girls to USC, to LMU, to multiple places, and this is only we're going to be entering our third year as a intercollegiate sponsored sport.
Is it meanwhile, as Drake Peabody just did a bootleg and it ran out the end of the third quarter with a nice cushion here of 31-7 as we go to the fourth quarter, and looking at our cheerleaders and the cheer guys and the cheer girls. But as with Misty May here, is that recruiting wise, is it really, are you getting more talented ladies to come to play volleyball because she's here?
Well, I think without question that's true.
Does it help other sports, do you think, or is it primarily at this point?
There's probably some benefit to some of the other sports. You know, having somebody like that, it's so funny because not everybody understands it, but it's kind of like Kobe, you know, retires. Can I get Kobe to come be a basketball coach? I mean, it really is for that sport, that magnitude. And I don't know that everybody understands that, but
Exactly, for that sport. Well, you know, I watching the Olympics, there was always, you know, when it was beach volleyball, there was one match you always wanted to watch for the last 12 years, in the last 3 Olympics, and that was with her and Carrie Walsh.
Sure.
When they were playing.
So the impact on the program is like I told you, has been undeniable. Another fantastic throw and touchdown
Vikings.
right there.
The touch on Peabody, some of his passes tonight have just been absolutely fantastic. That hook up there, I think that is that number 1 or number 2? Number 2. Yeah, it had to be number. So that was to Jonathan Bonds, I believe. Yeah, Jonathan Bonds in the first half. Jonathan, let's see. Oh, that's the person that my sidekick kept saying Bonds. Jonathan Bonds. He had another really good third quarter. The extra point is good.
Jonathan coming out of St. John Bosco High School. I mean, St. John Bosco has been such a tremendous powerhouse locally, nationally, for high school football. So anytime you were able to get a guy out of St. John Bosco, we're pretty excited and expect big things out of them.
Yeah, St. John Bosco's a lot of... Looking at the replay here. Just look at this here. You see Bonds, he's all the way... he was on the inside, then he goes to the outside. So a little crossing pattern there.
Ball delivered right to the right spot.
Yeah, ball was delivered to the right spot. It really created separation with the defenders, too. When one of them went one way. You know, the guy on the outside went to the inside. The guy on the inside goes to the outside. The defenders sort of get mixed up a little bit and, you know, creates a little... Which is exactly what the play is designed to do.
Just going to say, as a coach, you're happy to see that executed and
probably they're even happier because of the way I, you know, enunciated it. Okay, not really, but so other sports that we have. I know it's early. You know, we just completed the first week of the semester, but there's a lot of other sports that are out there as well. You care to touch on?
Sure, and you know, we're all excited right now. We just hired this past summer a new women's soccer coach. It's very late for a fall sport, so the pressure is on because you know, as a new coach, you want to perform, but we also understand that, you know, he really didn't have much of an opportunity to recruit. But that being said, passionately coming in and taking over the leadership of our women's soccer program is Eduardo Nunez, local coach, and really just from day one has been we're excited. He's been here daily, passionate, a lot of energy. Really working with the team, and so opened up the season with a nice win over San Diego City, and we're just going to continue to follow that. But you know, obviously we're supporting him and hoping for the best, and then going to see how things go this spring with recruiting and whatnot.
Getting a nice run there, splitting a couple of defenders, and unfortunately, the first time I'm going to call Josh Talbot's name is when he picks up a personal foul. They're going to say he was out of bounds when he made that late hit at the end. So it's out of bounds about the 45. I'm going to add another 15 onto it. Did you see that roll a moment ago on the kickoff? Did the guy catch it and it bounce that far, or did it just take a weird bounce? Because I just saw him running forever to get the ball. The kick returner from like the 5-yard line ran all the way out to the 20 to get the ball.
Yeah, I think it was an odd bounce.
It's an odd bounce. Okay, yeah, that was definitely an odd bounce.
So another fall sport, and again, it's so fun to be able to talk about these things. Is men's and women's water polo. Traditionally for us, very strong program. Another Olympian.
Same coach for both, right?
Actually, Chris Oding is our women's coach, and traditionally Dave Casa had been our men's coach.
Okay.
Dave actually was hired by Whittier College to take over their program. So we have a new coach, alumni Bradley Adamson, doing a wonderful job. But what I was saying is, you know, Long Beach, we love our Olympians. Chris Oding, our head women's coach, and really our head aquatics director, is two-time Olympian himself. 2016 was an assistant coach for USA Women's Water Polo when they won gold in Rio. So we're going to watch how that, was he in? I don't know.
They're going to say it's incomplete. And
looked out of bounds to me.
You know, on the previous play, there was a nice tackle by Chi Guyi. That is Gueye, number 90. 6'4", 320-pound sophomore from Dorsey. But on that pass there, it looks like that it was defended by Cross Poyer. We said his name.
Yeah, you're gonna hear Cross Poyer's name a lot. Cross is a leader for this program. He's a fantastic student athlete, really special player. So Cross is going to be a name that we hear a lot this year, doing good things.
Yes, I don't know what happened there. There must have been a penalty called, and that's why they moved it up an additional 15 yards. Their last 30 yards they've received has been from penalties. The personal foul on running down the sideline brought it to about the 33-yard line, and in that one there, another personal foul. I'm not sure what that last penalty was. I won't say personal foul. But it brings us to the 18-yard line. First time Grossmont has been on the Viking side of the field, and they're in the red zone now. Nice little run there by number 3, and that's Jarius Brunette. Several Vikings in on the tackle on that play. Can't just say one guy's name. So I'll just say, that was it. How do you call it? You don't call that a team tackle? I mean, I call it a team tackle, but as far as stats, you give half tackles to people.
Actually, you have to defer to Lauren on that. She's our stat expert.
Okay. Yes, Lauren's down here.
Assist. Oh!
Nice pass into the end zone.
Was he in, though? I don't know if were the feet in?
I thought
he jumped out of the end zone.
I thought he did, too. I mean,
either way, great catch.
It was a great catch. I mean, you got I think he was on the white when he caught it. Well, it's the red is the end zone. The white is out of bounds, correct?
Yes.
So, well, Grossmont, I guess it would be nitpicking on that one, but, I'm sure, something I had mentioned earlier is there will be a replay right after this extra point attempt. So we can
too
take
bad
a
we
better
don't have
look
the replay challenge, huh?
Right. Ethan Albertson with the extra point splits the uprights, and it's good. So you make the call at home, folks. Let's see what do you say here. It's a nice pass, that's for sure. Coming down towards the end of the end zone. Okay, he's got it now. There's one.
I probably dragged it.
I don't know. That's a hard one to tell there, but it looked like he had the 1 foot in, and is that a knee coming down?
It kind of looks like the knee comes down, so.
And you can't tell.
Can't tell with our I think number 7. It looks like maybe.
Right, you had Josh Talbot right there. His helmet was in the way of it, but it almost looked like the knee came down on the white part.
It's almost like the tire goes to the runner there. That was a great catch and pretty close. So.
It was a great catch. Regardless, it counts as 7 points. It's already in the history books now. So Vikings now have a 38-14 lead. Still a big 24-point lead here. But we know the Vikings are going to put up the points. They averaged last year 40 points a game, but they gave up 28 points a game. That's the thing that I was really. This looks like it could be a big run here, and it is. It's got 2 men to beat, 1 man to beat. Depends if he gets a block here. He does. He's going to go all the way. Touchdown, Vikings.
They must have heard you say they averaged 44 points a game last year because
they wanted to get it up.
They wanted to get that 44 on the board.
I need to go to Vegas tonight.
Yeah.
That is number
3.
Boy, he's having a good game. Tayshawn White. He had a lot of carries in the first half, Tayshawn did. But he got that all the way back up, inside his own 5-yard line. Went right up the middle, and I couldn't tell if it was blocking or if it was just all on him. There is a couple penalty flags down, you see there. Right about the 33-yard line.
Usually not a good sign on a return.
I bet the block below the waist is going to be the one they did on the kicker. I thought it was a good block. It looked like he hit him right at his knees, but that is below the waist, right? I thought it looked like a good block to me.
The knees are generally below the waist.
Really? Well, if the other team does it, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, okay, well, so that did happen right around. So there was 2 penalties on the Vikings on the play. and they're going to take the one. I don't know, is it a spot foul? It looks like they spotted it where the foul occurred, right at the 42-yard line. The Vikings now have a new quarterback in the game, and it looks like it was Jonathan Murphy. Jonathan's a freshman from Westchester, so I take it that Drake Peabody's day will be over. The coach's son, the young man from West Torrance High School.
Well, I tell you, watching our scrimmage and talking to Coach Peabody, he is very, very impressed by Murphy. He's a talented quarterback.
By this man right here?
Absolutely. This is not a look at that. Puts a lot of zip on the ball when he throws it, but the other thing is his feet. Like this kid can move. Like he's very fast.
And what is his name? Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan.
Okay, so Jonathan Murphy's 5'10". He's a left-hander. Yep. Just saw that.
Yeah,
through the ball.
He lets it go from the left side of the body.
So did he get a lot of playing time in that scrimmage last week?
I think they're almost 50-50. I think at the scrimmage, and you're gonna see he's gonna make some plays.
How did that scrimmage go? They didn't report anything on it. And I wasn't there.
Sure.
Against Orange Coast. This was last Thursday.
Yeah, I think my takeaway would be I teased the coaches a little bit, but my takeaway would be this: we expect offense with our team, and we saw that in the scrimmage. What was nice was the defense was very strong against Orange Coast. Now, you know, scrimmage, where our team's at that point. I don't, what is Orange Coast's strength this year? A lot of variables in play there, but defensively we looked very strong. Offense was, of course, met the expectations.
Got some speed, doesn't he?
He's
able to get away from the rush there. Really
very
nice.
Fast and he's got a great arm. He's a special talent.
That ball got down to he is.
So it was nice to see the defense come ready and come to play. They looked very stifling against Orange Coast.
Okay.
The other takeaway, the one that I teased the coaches about, was special teams definitely looked like we needed some practice.
It seems like we've had problems with special teams over the years. I haven't been here the last 2 years, but prior to that, we've had games we lost against Riverside and Mount Sac, determining games to get into the playoffs, and it was special teams that were getting us killed. They had a nice return, Grossmont did, about a 35-yard return earlier in the game out to midfield. So there's only been one. It wasn't didn't take it all the way. But nice punt.
Nice job there. I will say, punting tonight looked good. I mean, we pinned the ball down, I think, at the 3 in the first half. And
yes, we did.
Punting's been pretty solid. I just think, and the return. It's hard to say this. We just ran back a kickoff for a touchdown, but take that penalty back, and we got points on the board. But
Jack Genova just made that tackle. I'm sorry to interrupt you there.
Yeah. So, I think those were the takeaways. Offense is what we expected. Defense looked really, really strong. Special teams, I think, could use a little work.
Well, I thank you for coming up here and visiting with us for a few moments. And I think I'll let you go, so I know you got a lot of other things you need to you want to do down there. But thank you for coming up here, and from time to time, I'd love to have you come back.
Absolutely. It's actually, as I came up here, looking at this view of the great city of Long Beach and our amazing stadium, I just kind of took it in for a minute and just kind of was like, man, don't take this place for granted. It's a special place with a lot of history, and it's really a beautiful stadium. So it's kind of fun to come up here.
It is. With the earlier start now, instead of the 5 o'clock, instead of the 6 o'clock. Another penalty flag being thrown in late. But usually you'd be able to see the fireworks displays that were going off later at night. But starting an hour earlier, we won't see that now. Well, Randy, once again, thank you for coming on.
Yep.
And look forward to seeing a lot more of you this year. And good luck with all the other sports.
Thank you.
All right. That was Randy Tutorp, the athletic director of Long Beach City College. And I'd like to welcome back Noah Russell.
Hey everybody, good to be back.
Noah, I saw you were doing tons of other things. You were over on a camera.
Yep.
You were making pizza. No, you
weren't. Yeah, just having a little pizza break. And I'm back for the 11 minutes remaining in the game.
And once again, this whole broadcast is all taking place with students. All of the cameramen are students. All of the players are students. Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Of course, all the players.
This is being brought to you by the RTV department of Long Beach City College.
Yes, of which Robert Hirsch is one of the people that are downstairs that's in charge of everything. We thank to Robert Hirsch. So back to the game here. It 38-14, 11:45 remaining. Fourth quarter. Just a few minutes into the fourth quarter. We're going to try to get you down there, Noah, to interview head coach Brett Peabody. Now, he stays out on the field a little bit longer, so you might be able to get down there and be able to do an interview.
Yep, hopefully.
So maybe have you at the 2-minute mark.
Sure.
Take off and go down there. I don't know if you need more time than that, even to be on the sideline, so you can be ready to hit him before we close out our broadcast.
So from what I'm seeing, if I may point out, from what I saw when I was off the mic for a bit, is that we had a brilliant touchdown, 2 brilliant touchdowns actually, and especially with the one where it was a pass and then whammo just goes right into there. It's amazing.
Yeah, there was a couple of nice, well, that especially the run back, but you know he did block the guy in the knees. They call it block below the waist. And I asked the athletic director, is that being hit in the knees? I guess that's below the waist.
Yeah, definitely.
Like yeah, Randy, the knees are below the waist.
Yeah, and so we have a yellow flag here on the play. We're going to find out what it is.
Yeah, it's going to be against the Vikings. They're going to march it off. It's going to be 5 yards, but he also thought he motioned a first down, but nope, it's going to end up being 2nd down. So it was 2nd and 8. It's going to be 2nd and 3. So in the game, Josh Harris got hit, and it looked like it was left shoulder. He left the game, the quarterback for Grossmont. He was replaced by Anthony Posada, who's gone the distance since then. The handoff looks like it's going to be, the Viking players are saying there was a fumble, but they're still saying it was a fumble.
Yeah, I believe so.
But it matters what the official says, and the official is going to say he was down at the 41. So the Vikings came up with the ball around the 39-yard line.
Yeah.
They're going to say he was down at the 41. It's going to leave him a yard shy of a first down.
Yep.
I'd like to see the Vikings try to, you know, only allow 14 points. That would be good.
Sure.
Handoff goes off right tackle, and he's going to get a good first down there. And it was number 35 was the ball carrier, and that was Jalen McNeil.
Yes. Jalen McNeil, 6'2", 202, freshman, and from Poly High School in Long Beach.
Poly High School.
A local.
And I believe it was Kaz Hayashi
that
made the tackle for the Vikings, number 98. Vikings showing blitz, backed off, now they come. Ball's thrown deep near the end zone, and off the fingertips.
Yikes.
Incomplete.
That was some Butterfingers action right there.
Yeah, that was actually a nice pass on that play.
Right.
It just landed incomplete.
Yeah.
Defending on the play for the Vikings, as you can see him there at the top of the screen, I believe that was Jordan Yancey, number 2.
I believe you're correct.
It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. 9 minutes, 42 seconds to go. Clock stopped with the incompletion.
Ball on the 36-yard line.
The officials come in and they're going to call a legal procedure, I believe. That's going to be 5-yard penalty.
Yeah.
So they'll bring it and make it a 2nd and 15. Vikings substitute a lineman for another lineman, as you saw right there.
Yep.
So the lights have taken full effect now here. And you know, as Randy Tutorp had just mentioned a moment ago, it is a beautiful view when you're up this high in the air. I mean,
gorgeous.
The view you got going out the other way
Yeah, definitely.
is phenomenal.
If it's, no matter whether it's natural light or like stadium lights.
Back to pass, you know, that looked like if he was trying to do misdirection, but the Viking defender would have none of that and made a great tackle there. The defending on the play was both Josh Talbot and Cross Poyer.
Definitely.
It's going to bring up, boy, it's third down and a lot. Scoreboard says 2nd and 15. The yard marker says third down. They need to get to the 26, and they're at the 44. So it's about a 3rd and 18. Back to pass, being flushed from the pocket. Throwing it out of bounds, incomplete. His defenders recovered. And on the play defending for the Vikings was number 35, Jalen McNeil.
I hear some fans yelling, "Go Noah, go Noah!" Thank you, thank you. No, but that's for Noah bias.
Is that your girlfriend down there?
No. Okay. She actually lives in Arizona, so can't yell that loud.
Okay. So it was Noah. Who'd you say they were yelling?
Noah Bias, number 44.
Number 44 for the
Yes.
Vikings?
Yes, indeed.
Noah Bias. You're saying you go, no. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with the incompletion, it's going to force another punt. And I don't know how many punts he's had, but there's been a whole bunch. High snap. Almost all of his punts have taken bad bounces. So he wants to eliminate that from happening this time. And this time he gets a fortuitous bounce. Landed about the 5-yard line, rolled into the end zone. The Vikings will start off at their own 20-yard line. If it goes into the end zone on a kickoff, you get it at the 25-yard line.
Yes.
On a punt, you only get to come out to the 20.
It's only fair.
Yes. I didn't make that rule, so you can't ask me why, because I won't be able to tell you why.
Exactly. With 8 minutes and 41 seconds left in the game, this game actually went by pretty quickly.
It has. It's been a good pace. The officials haven't interrupted it too much with a lot of penalty flags.
Yeah. And we only had one timeout the entire game, so it's a good starter.
Jonathan Murphy back to pass with a rush. He avoids the rush, takes off showing his speed, getting all the way out to the 38-yard line. Ends up at the 40, but I believe his knee went down about the 38-yard line. That's where they're going to mark it. Nice run of 18 yards there by Jonathan Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
Randy Tutorp had mentioned that they're very high on Jonathan Murphy.
Oh, no kidding.
Definitely got two quarterbacks that are really good. And this guy's got a really good arm, and he can run.
Yeah,
and look at these. He's able to avoid tackles. And that time he's still on his feet. he should have been tackled about 30 seconds beforehand. And unfortunately, a Grossmont player went down on that back at the 18-yard line. And it looks like he turned a knee. And you saw it happen right away. Even the Viking trainers have run out onto the field to see if he's okay.
Yeah, so Jonathan Murphy, he's a quarterback, 5'10", 185, from Westchester High School in Los Angeles.
Westchester High School.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, as he was maneuvering around, he was just getting away from everyone. You know, he ended up losing a lot of yards, but that last tackle, if he breaks that last tackle, he just had about 70 yards of daylight to run.
Yeah.
Good to see the young man get on his feet. That was number 17 that went down.
Number 17, that would be
Deshelle
Johnson, defensive end, sophomore, 6'2", 220, from Mount Miguel High School in Spring Valley, California.
You know, he didn't look like it was his knees. He's walking with his head down.
Yeah.
But he hasn't moved his arm. I think it's his arm.
Probably,
yeah. You notice he's not really moving his left arm very much.
Yeah.
Well, he is a little bit now. But he is walking straight to the trainer's table.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Let's hope he ends up at the trainer's table, not straight to the locker room.
Huh.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yep, trainer table.
Okay. Brings up a 2nd and 23 for the Vikings with a 13-yard loss. So sometimes when you try to make something out of nothing, it just doesn't work. But Murphy's going to take off running again. Almost falls down, put his hand on the ground to stay up. Gets about 4 yards out of it. That was a design run. He had no intention of passing on it. And actually, that's a new, nope, the same quarterback. I saw number 83 in the game there, McCade Barrett, and I was thinking that he might have thought he was going to go stand behind center, but he's not. 7 minutes, 10 seconds to go. It was 7:11. It's now 7:06. Third down and 19. Bruins we need to get to the 48-yard line. Pass over the middle. It's tipped to himself and intercepted. Intercepted by number 26, Derek Sutherland. He tipped the ball to himself right at midfield, and was able to turn around and catch it. Nice interception there by Sutherland.
Derek Sutherland is a safety. He's a freshman, 6 feet, 180, from 29 Palms, California.
How many palms?
29 to be exact.
Okay. 38-14. Long Beach City College Vikings here with a very comfortable lead.
Absolutely.
It got a little nerve-wracking. We jumped out, the Vikings did, to a 10-0 lead.
Right.
And then it was 10-7.
That's where it got a little...
Yeah, and it looked like, the Vikings were stopped a couple times in a row. And Grossmont looked like they were starting to get a little bit of momentum going. But the Vikings were able to squash that. And from then on, if that 10-7, since then it's been 28-7 since. So it's 38-14 total.
There you go.
Long personal foul penalty there. Takes the ball all the way from the 48-yard line, all the way from the 49-yard line, all the way to the 34, just outside the 34-yard line. 1st and 10 for Grossmont. Handing the ball off, going right up the middle is a big lumbering back. Runs over a couple of Vikings before he's tripped up there at the end by number 5. And that was Amir Wilson. The ball carrier was number 35. That was Kobe Uri. Boy, he looked really good on that play. How big is Kobe?
What number is he?
35. Actually, he was 30. They changed. He's the guy who's...
Oh, QB, he doesn't say, but it says he's a running back.
It says he's... Oh, yeah, that's right. It doesn't say. Getting away from the rush of the Vikings. Throwing the ball deep downfield. It's got a man open in the end zone. Just...
No, barely. Barely missed it.
Just outside. With the incompletion, clock stops at 6 minutes, 13 seconds. Next week, the Vikings have a barn burner. They're going to go out and play at Mount San Antonio.
That's right.
That's going to be definitely a difficult game for the Vikings.
Definitely. The next, our next home game is September 15th against LA Valley.
Yeah. I'm looking to see what Mount Sac. Mount Sac is ranked 7th in the state and 6th in the nation.
Wow.
That's the one that made no sense.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd think you'd be ranked higher in the nation, or higher in the state,
Right.
than you would in the nation.
But the polls don't lie.
Yeah, the state is just California, and the nation is California and everyone else. But they're ranked higher in the nation than they are in the state.
Statistically speaking.
Statistically. Well, it's also Fullerton wasn't that... Fullerton is a 2-time national champion, 2-time state champion. They've won 19 in a row. But the Dirty 30, which is Rivals.com, they only rank people based on the information they were given. And the report I got was Fullerton had not given them any information, so that's why they hadn't ranked Fullerton as high yet.
There you go.
So expect a lot out of Fullerton again.
Oh, absolutely.
From the 30, looking downfield, has a man open at the 10-yard line, complete at the 5-yard line. Jacob Rosar with the reception. A couple of Vikings here on defending the play. Clock is now under 6 minutes at 5:50. 1st and goal from the 5. Let's get a good goal line stance here, Vikings. Handoff goes to Uri on the outside. He's diving, had the ball loose. I think he was already down before the ball came loose. It did come loose, as you see there. Noah Bias was the guy that the fans were cheering for a few minutes ago.
Exactly.
He was the one pointing at his Vikings ball, but he'd already gone down to one knee. They bring up 2nd and goal from the 1.
Oh boy.
They give it to him again, and this
And
time,
he's in.
yes, he is diving into the end zone for the touchdown. It's now 38-20.
Holy smokes.
Where did Yuri go to high school at? Did it say?
Yuri? Let's see. Number is...
That was the guy who was number. Well, have him at number.
Right.
He was at number 30, but they he's now 35.
Does not say.
Oh, there's nothing. Well, I wonder if it's really him.
Who knows? Could be an imposter.
That's right. On for the extra point.
And we shall see.
All night long has been Ethan Albertson. And Grossmont was shy a man, so man comes running onto the field. To
Ethan
complete the
Albertson
11.
from Mount Carmel High School from San Diego, California.
The snap, the place, the kick is going to split the
It's
uprights. See the officials there saying it was good. And Grossmont.
Here's a replay of the touchdown.
Yeah, you see, this is all Yuri on this.
Oh, totally.
That cut right there is what
Dives right in.
Yeah.
Just dives right in.
probably didn't even need to make the dive. But you see number 7 there for the Vikings.
Well, it's your adrenaline, you
That
know,
was
it gets the
Josh
best of you.
Talbot. He forced him to jump in the air and dive.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Because he went down low on him.
Yeah.
38-21.
Yep, 38-21 with 5 minutes and 15 seconds left in the game. Fourth quarter. This is one of my favorite parts about fall semesters is definitely football season. It's a lot of fun to watch.
You know, looking to see. So Long Beach, as we said earlier, they go and play at Mount Sac next week at 1 o'clock. And
there's the kick.
Another kick. He's kicked a lot of them out of the end zone. Grossmont is at Canyons next week. They're at home versus Canyons at 3 o'clock. Canyons is now in the Vikings division. So as I spoke to Randy Tutorp, we were talking about all the moving around in the divisions.
Yeah.
So we have Bakersfield, Canyons, East Los Angeles, Moore Park, and Ventura in a National Northern Division. First and 10 for the Vikings from the 25 after the touchback. Handing the ball off, coming to the right, turning the corner, gets past a man who's going to get a first down out of it.
Tripped a little bit there.
Yeah, a nice run there for Angel Favela. Number 24, Angel Favela.
Yes.
Getting about, I'm going to call it 11 yards on the play.
Angel Favela is a running back, 5'7", 171, a freshman from La Mirada, California.
So after the max up, so what happens? There's three national divisions. There's the National Northern, National Central, National Southern. First place member of each one of those goes to the playoffs, and one at-large team. That makes up the 4 teams in Southern California to go to the playoffs.
Right.
So now that we don't have Riverside and Mount San Antonio in our conference, which is something we've dreamed about for a long time, even though we still play both of them this year, but they're not in our league. So we'll have to see how that goes. However, Ventura won their division last year, and they went to the playoffs.
Right.
The Vikings now face for the 1st and 20. They're backed up all the way to their own 12-yard line. Running around left end, hit hard, falling forward to about the 13-yard line is Angel Favela again. Well, not again, but just Angel Favela. Got it. Once.
Yep. 4 minutes, 35 seconds. Clock is running.
Yes, it is. So we will have a interview with Noah and head coach Brett Peabody directly after the game ends. So I know Noah will be taking off and go downstairs in a couple minutes.
Yeah, just about 2 minutes.
Yeah. 2nd and 21, the scoreboard says. Vikings need to get all the way to the 35. They're right at the 14-yard line. Handoff again. Looks like it goes to Favela once again. And he's going to get take the ball just about to the line of scrimmage. Timeout on the field. Clock stops with 4 minutes and 4 seconds to go. That timeout was taken by Grossmont. They think that they have a 17-point play in their playbook. Hey, play to the whistle.
Absolutely.
That's what you have to do.
So all in all, I mean, with 4 minutes left in the game, all in all, what did we really see here in the case of offense and defense?
Well, I mean, the last, almost the whole fourth quarter, Coach Peabody is emptying out his bench a little bit, letting people play.
Cracker Jack cheerleaders.
Hey, look at these Cracker Jack cheerleaders here. Listening to the White Stripes with that song. The Long Beach Cheerleaders.
Yes, and may I also say that these Long Beach cheerleaders are coached by none other than Diana Golias, the head cheer coach here at Long Beach City College. Terrific, terrific lady.
Diana Golias?
Golias, yep.
Golias, okay. All right. Back to live action. Handoff again to Favela. It's going to get about 2 yards. Going to take it out to the 20-yard line. And the Vikings are going to be forced to punt from there. Back for the return is number 23, Andrew Lira of Grossmont. He's standing at his own 40-yard line right now. The Vikings are going to have none other than Tanner Carcamo punting like he's done all night long. There you see him standing at his 39-yard line.
He's a lone wolf.
Line of scrimmage at 20. Let's see how far Tanner can boot this ball. It's a line drive, bounces about the 49-yard line and stays there at the 49-yard line. Hey, how about that?
How about them apples?
With 3:09 to play, Grossmont is going to take over with great field possession at their own 49-yard line. But they trail the Vikings as time is running out on them. The Vikings of Long Beach City College, 38. The Griffins of Grossmont, 21.
Like I said, it's a great way to start a season here.
Definitely is. You know, I can't see. Was there a decent crowd on hand today?
Oh, definitely. Most definitely.
Good. It's good to let it, get as many people out there into the game as well, so you can get a good idea of who's on your roster, how they perform during game day. Like that tackle right there, made by number 3, Dylan Madison. On the reception was number 13, Jacob Rosar. We said his name all night long for Grossmont.
Absolutely.
Ball's now at the Viking 47-yard line. Quarterback being chased by several Vikings. Downfield, this ball is going to be intercepted at the 30-yard line.
Now, before I head down there, I just wanted to say that all in all, this game was a pretty good fight.
The interception, could you see?
Yeah.
I couldn't see.
I got to say, Grossmont put up one heck of a fight tonight.
Honestly, they were a bit overmatched. The Vikings are they're so strong on both sides of the ball. The Vikings are definitely going to be a challenger for the Northern Division, and wishful thinking much further. I know they all have hopes of a state championship. That's what the goal is, and that's something that head coach Brett Peabody has brought to Long Beach City College.
Definitely.
Handoff goes to the left, breaks a couple of tackles, stutter stepping, breaks another tackle. Ball carrier was Victor Bates, I believe. No, ball carrier was Donald Gordon, number 9. But that's something that and they throw in a flag, but as you saw right there, the official waved the flag off. So they're going to call it a 2-yard gain, make a 2nd and 8. But instead of just trying to win games and trying to be a playoff team, they are now someone who's trying to become a state champion. Something that's the difference that you have now with head coach Brett Peabody here, coaching the Long Beach City College Vikings. From the 32-yard line, and I believe Noah is going on his way down to try to get that interview with head coach Brett Peabody. Handoff goes off tackle to the left, to the 50, to the 45, bursting with tons of energy. And that is the same person that just carried a moment ago. Beautiful run there by Donald Gordon as he burst through the line of scrimmage going into Griffin territory. We are now under 2 minutes remaining. Vikings have the ball 1st and 10 at the Griffin 48-yard line. Jonathan Murphy on in replace of Drake Peabody. And Murphy is a talented youngster out there. He's a southpaw. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Hands off again to the same person, getting to the outside. He's just got a lot of strength. Someone had a hand on him and he just took off right around him. Getting another 1st down is none other than Donald Gordon. Boy, this has been a Donald Gordon show on this possession. They're going to mark it at the 37-yard line. Now they move it back to the 38-yard line. That's what I thought. I didn't think he got quite that far. But they spotted it incorrectly, and they corrected themselves as well they should have. They made the right call there. 1st and 10 Vikings. They give again, and this time he slipped a little bit before he got the ball, lost all of his momentum. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage before 4 different Grossmont players ganged up on him and pushed him backwards. Forward progress is going to be right back at the line of scrimmage for Donald Gordon. It's a nice, cool afternoon on the 1st of September. 47 seconds to go in Long Beach City College's first game of the 2018 campaign. They're going to go to 1-0. Another nice move by Gordon. He only got about 3 yards, 2 yards out of it.
Mic check.
And looks like there might be one more play. That might be the last play of the game. The Viking players are walking towards the sideline, and that is going to be the last play of the game. They're going to let the clock run out. Something I like about community college football is when the game's over, both teams line up at the 50-yard line, very similar to hockey players after the playoffs, and they all come out and shake hands with each other, which is a nice thing. The final score, your Long Beach City College Vikings 38, the Grossmont Griffins 21. We'll stand by here for a moment, and I know Noah is down on the field. It's just a matter of him getting to the head coach and doing that little interview on the field, and then we will be signing out. So I don't have final stats for you, but I can tell you that it was a thoroughly dominating performance on both sides of the ball for the Vikings. Basically, the starters gave up about 14 points through 3 quarters, and they scored 38 points through 3 quarters. Actually, it put the 44th point up on the board on the kickoff return, but that was called back from a bad block, and it was a bad block. You know, he got him in the knees, so they called it correctly on that. So you see the players still out there shaking hands with each other, which is very nice. And the Viking players are going down, gathering all the way at the left end of the field. They have a final couple of words from their head coach, and then they will go on to into the locker room. You see the Griffins, after they finish shaking hands there, they're going to curl on around, and then they'll be going all the way to the right to their locker room. But in the meantime, we're waiting for our on-field interview, and I do see Noah down on the field, so we'll just wait for the interview to start. Actually, Brett Peabody is right at the 45-yard line. If you can hear me, Noah, that's where he's at. He's actually at the 40. So you see that Grossmont, they're all taking a knee. They're listening to final words. You know, we have a bit of sad news for the coach of Grossmont. His parents were, he lost his parents this past week. And I know that a lot of players out there.
Busy. Sign off. Well, looks like Coach Peabody's pretty busy. We'll see you next time on Viking Sports.
All right, folks, we're going to sign off. We'll see you next time on Viking Sports. Final score, Long Beach.